Mm.
All right, well, that was
I mean, I know it's not terrible. It's not.
strange intro.
Oh, hey. I know. Boof.
Oh no! Sorry, dogs.
I thought you were saying that to the ad. Like, no,
Yeah,
oh
me
god,
too.
there's an ad!
I mean, at least it's the Call of Duty ad and not the football ad.
I don't know if it's better for me to like kick the dogs out of the office, or put them
You
in the
should
office.
Gently place them out of the office, not kick them, because they're dogs.
Kick
You
'em.
should be gentle.
Kick them straight in.
love them.
Throw them at the sun with
love.
Put on
Blah,
a
blah,
boo
blah, blah, blah.
Put on like a tiki mask and be like booga booga booga. Stupid dog, you made me look bad.
Oh, okay. Right, let me
This
pull up
is
my
fun.
stuff.
I'm just
Nope,
gonna open them.
that's it.
Make sure you retweet all of the things so people know what is going on.
Man, I love this opening stream.
Me
It's great.
too. Elf did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're
Just
welcome.
Elf.
I mean,
Well then.
I guys
Just to
done
make sure
so
you're
much
recording,
work.
right?
God, I feel like
Feel like-
such a dick.
yeah, making the stream all pretty and stuff. And
Oh,
yeah, is
like,
this
no
set to
pressure,
record?
Diane, no
Wait,
suck.
So Ultima, I
It's recording.
apologize.
Okay.
Ultima, I apologize because I'm just now super looking at our logo. I didn't even know we had a crown, and I was about to be like, "That's fucking genius, dude."
Beautiful.
We are
So
recording.
for the
yes.
briefest second, I thought
Okay.
I saw videos 1, and I thought that was last week's, but no, it's not.
It's this week's, yeah.
Wait, videos 1? Where?
At the top.
It says videos 0 for me.
Oh,
Oh.
it says 1 for me. Grizz, you should put on some music so it's not so just our voices.
Well, no, the background music from
The
the
background music is on. You guys are just so damn loud that it can't hear you.
game. Lenore, you were using the wrong emotes for this chat.
We don't
I'm
have. Oh, we do have
sorry.
emotes. Oh my
Have you
god.
mods?
Yes, we have Franker.
Oh, I don't have the thing, so I can't see.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I
you
don't have
shit,
it either.
Franker.
Oh, you're so lame.
So
How
all of our
about this?
symbols are just our role and then our names. So Zan
Yep.
is Zan and Percy is Percy, Sid is Sid. No DM, do not be boof. she's coughing. Wow, it is so echoey in my room. Oh my god. My apologies, guys. My audio quality is going
You're fine.
down.
You sound fine.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
okay.
I do look fine.
Hmm.
I just wake up this way, honestly.
I mean, I said you sound fine, but okay.
Yeah, but you almost said look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, time to get Ultima some tequila.
Corvus, I like how like Percy's looking up at Kane.
At the king! Hey, king!
That's
Like,
perfect.
What is with this weird
Something's not right
face
here.
dragon boy?
I can't see
Something
it.
is not right here.
The year is
Alright,
1946.
I'm hiding the chat because I'm gonna get distracted easily.
Yeah, focus on the game.
I'm good at reading chat while also playing, so this shouldn't be bad.
I don't know. You just said that you tuned out earlier, so
You tuned out when we didn't even have chat up.
We were literally
I was
talking
reading
to
all
you.
the comics that Nick and Rowan did that were like really goofy. They were fun. I loved them.
all right.
You guys, man, you
Are
made
we
me laugh
ready?
so much. I'm already coughing and choking over here.
No, DM, do not to be boof.
Oh,
We haven't even gotten back into Disney World.
Are we ready, guys?
Yeah, I think
I'm
we're good.
good.
alrighty. I guess we'll do the welcoming
Bless you.
feel.
Fran.
Oh my god.
Times two.
Three?
What
Oh
the
my
hell?
gosh.
Two.
Cheeky sneeze.
Is there a fourth?
No, it's usually just
It's usually
threes.
3.
Fourth is when you die.
Yeah.
You can bust.
All
Done.
right.
Oh, Shinobu, buddy.
No, Shinobu.
He tried to jump in my lap and he rolled 1.
Oh well, they got a mess to clean up now.
Do you need a minute?
No, I'm good. Sorry.
It's alright. I mean, my dogs are probably going to start, like, attacking the door to come in.
Excellent.
Mommy, mom. That's
Oh
my
my
life.
God.
Even the dogs do it. Okay, I guess we getting ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
Let's roll.
I
Alrighty.
love it.
Oh,
That's canon.
what are we rolling?
You ready to roll? Oh my God.
Yeah,
Are
roll
we-
Constitution save. Start.
we-
No,
Auto-
Oh, no.
autobots?
God, what a way to
got this.
start,
I've got
though.
this.
I rolled a 20. I rolled a 20. Natural 20.
Oh boy.
You rolled two. You rolled twice.
Wait, are we actually rolling a con?
no,
No,
I was
we're
just
not.
fucking with you guys.
Oh.
No, I wasted a 20.
No, it was just a practice roll.
Should use that for your big dick roll.
I know, right? Right?
That's also something we could do is do the first rolls, and then whoever gets lowest is actually the winner for
Oh
the
my
inspiration.
God. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's keep it simple. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to like
You
troll
should do
through
it on
rolls.
stream though, just to like laugh at whoever rolls the lowest, and then they get a
Yeah.
reward.
Alright, you guys-
You're dumb.
Yeah, public humiliation, but then reward.
Wah wah. Oh.
You DM.
Okay. DM starting. Okay. Here we go. Welcome to session 2 of Raining Rolls. A group of Twitch creatives come together to play D&D. Let's see. Unfortunately, our first episode was lost in Twitch limbo, so I'm going to do a quick recap. But first, let's run through our players. So starting with Kane, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Grizz. I'll be playing Kane, Beastmaster Ranger, and man, now I'm just like blanking on what I wrote. Kane is a kind of more of a underground scumbag who formerly ran a gang of other scumbags, and he's in it for a lot of money and making great earnings, but also taking care of the poor and the needy and the homeless. So like a dragon, half dragon Robin Hood, but much more attractive. He has a beautiful 8-foot-long snake, Ivy, who hopefully we can get up to some mischief with. Yeah, he's just here to roll really good charisma checks and bang all of the DM's monsters.
Here, hand me that
Yeah.
waifu catalog.
He's got a
Give me the
checklist.
monster
And he's,
manual?
yeah, he's got
Yes.
a checklist. He's like Santa Claus, but D&D world, and the checklist is all the monsters. So, you know,
Gotta bang them all, man.
yeah.
The special ones are
Pokemon,
highlighted in red. They're all in red.
Well then. Delia, please introduce yourself. Delia.
Oh, God.
Joel.
I'm waiting for static.
Oh, that's you.
I'm waiting for static.
Alright, skipping. Because I think they're fixing something right now. Kiki! We'll come back to Joel.
I'm Lenore Kingsley. I will be playing Kiki the Bard. She is very happy-go-lucky, a little aloof. Clearly, she's not used to these lands and their customs. But she makes the best out of bad situations. Yeah, she'll always go out of her way to make people smile or laugh with her music. That's just how she rolls. I did on Raining Rolls.
Shadow roll.
Okay.
All these puns. Kane rolls to kill himself.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you
funny.
better get used to it, because that's how I roll.
No!
No, Kina.
It was so fluid, I hate it.
Just wait until the nomads show up.
Oh no.
Silent
Oh.
G.
Joel, what?
Rip Jodo.
Oh boy.
Percy's next.
Hey, I'm Corvus F2. I'm gonna be playing as Percival, a paladin of Mystra, who he's been through a lot. So right now he's just trying to live life to the best that he can without hurting anyone.
Perfect.
I will mention that Percy has baggage from a previous campaign, and
Yeah.
and we're gonna use it.
Yep.
I like how
Percy
this
from,
is like
My
the
First
self-help
Name.
group for bad
Hi,
backstories.
Percy.
It's like, hi, my name is
AA
Percy.
meeting.
Hi, Percy.
I've committed murder. Me too.
Oh, us too. It's okay. Accept it and move on.
Speaking of accepting things, Sabrina, you're next.
Oh, thanks for that. Welcome back, Delia. So I am Lockhart_S on Twitch, or everybody just calls me Chops. I will be playing Sabrina Lockhart, who is an ex-admiral of his Imperial fleet from his country. He is currently on the run for his life because of false crimes he was charged with. And he is traveling with Kiki and keeping her safe from everything he can, for he owes his life to her for saving it. Yeah.
Alrighty. Val.
My name is Fallen Morning. I will be playing Val, who is a 13-year-old human who has lived on the streets for the last 7 years and suddenly come into some cool new mystical powers and is out in the world just exploring those, and has been traveling with Xanthrin, so helping him stay alive.
Excuse me while I die coughing. It's fine. And speaking of Zan,
I am Ultimate Cyborg, or Jason. I play Mr. Xanthrin Xavier. He's an artificer from the city of Avaglade. He comes off as slightly eccentric and whatnot, but he's more so a bumbling genius that can't really interact with people because of his mask and other things that shall not be disclosed here until much later on in the story. But just don't know much about him, but he's definitely somebody you'd want on your party.
Nice.
Is he though?
Und Delia.
Val will say yes.
All right.
Delia, you want to catch up? You there?
Can you guys hear me this time?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Hey guys, I'm Saint Blade 88, and I'm gonna be playing Delia Evermore, Paladin of the goddess Shantae. I started as a nobody changeling from a little corner of nowhere, and now I live as a protector and servant of the common people of the land. I'm here to bring peace to the lost lambs and silence to the fangs of the wolf. If I happen to have a good time along the way, so much the better.
Oh.
You had like the best intro of all of us. Damn.
Yeah,
Fuck,
can
Well,
we
he,
show
start?
us up. I'm glad you went last.
Yeah.
That was
You have a
amazing.
script, don't you?
Can
Thanks for
we
carrying
lose
the
this
intro.
episode and restart? I'll just delete it. I have that power.
3.0.
Do over. Okay, where was I? Finishing the intro. All right, last episode. Session 1 started with our group of players assembling in Quen'Yalar, a ruined high elven city turned tourist attraction. As part of the attraction, visitors are given illusory headbands with elf ears, which disguises wearers as high elves. You have the option of being a high elf commoner, that's the baseline model, or you could pay to upgrade to be a high elf noble. I believe 2 of our players, Val and Zan, did you both upgrade?
We definitely have those, yeah. I'm not wearing it currently,
Right.
but we
Oh.
have them.
Yeah, I'm not wearing it either.
Yeah, so part of the charm of Quen'Yalar is that it's almost like a reenactment city. So it's actually an old elven ruin, but it has been enchanted to look like it used to back in its heyday, and then visitors are encouraged to pretend to be elves themselves, and like add to the ambience of the whole affair. So that's why most people will look like high elves, though they may not actually be so. Okay. Currently, it is the beginning of the first Harvest Reaping Festival, which is a sacred holiday for the agricultural goddess Shantae, and as such, Delia is here by special invitation. Delia will be receiving VIP status, and has been given a personal attendant in the way of Wyndon Everall, who is a half-elf bard. Let's see. Notes of interest last episode. I don't know if did you want to pull up the artwork, Grizz,
Huh? I can.
if you have that ready or not. Anyway, Kane pretty much failed most of his charisma rolls. So his introductions were glorious. He also didn't do so great at the archery range. He did okay. Not as good as you'd expect from a ranger.
Hey,
Val.
I do it for the pet, all right?
Val managed to win a ragdoll at the archery range. And they also managed to piss off a candy apple vendor, Hilda, who shot color-changing glare. Plot point. Anyway, Saberna managed to give Zan the creeps when they were introduced. And that happened before they actually entered the city, as everyone was gathering outside, waiting for the gates to open. Kiki is super excited to visit the Bard Quarter, which houses the Bard College, as well as several entertainment spots. If she so chooses, she may be hired as a bard. But in order to do so, she has to register at either the visitor center or the college. And just as a going rule, guests in Quen'Yalar can hire bards to follow them around and serenade them, or give them special tours. Now, Kiki wouldn't necessarily know how to give a tour, but she could definitely entertain and earn a little side cash. Percy just sucked at the archery range. But managed to devastate the target with one of his javelins, which got him into a little bit of trouble with the city guard in the process, but it's okay, he made it better with pie. Zan peeked into the library and read a little bit of history about Quen'Yalar and how it came to be ruined. Essentially, cult of Tolona, the goddess of poison and pestilence, managed to release a plague that decimated the population, which had already been suffering during years of war and conflict with other stuff. And most of the survivors just sought refuge elsewhere. And then, well, you didn't hear how it came back. So, and then we left off with basically the party getting a huge sweet tooth. So first Val went to go get candy apples, had that little exchange, and then most everybody went to Mary's Bake Shop, where Percy lost his mind and bought a banquet of pie for everyone. And that's where we left off.
How many pies do you have? Oh, I'll take all of them.
And God bless his soul.
You're
God bless
welcome.
his soul.
Which god,
Can I
though?
start out real quick talking to Val? Val. Let us actually, is there like a side table seating outside of the bake shop?
Oh,
Like
you mean like an outdoor seating?
Yeah, maybe like off to the side on maybe kind of close to an alleyway where we wouldn't be as seen much.
No, there's not really much in the way of alleyways.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the map, it's in the market area. So like, let's say that little square. Let's see if I can mark it right here. How do I do the market thing? All right. Let's see. Let's say you're right over here. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that alcove would just be like outdoor thing. Like this is all like a snacking, like food area, right? So all little food shops, and then some of the shops have seating on the interior, like Mary's Bake Shop has it.
Mhm.
Mary's Bake Shop is like a rectangular room with an L-shaped service counter with a door to the back baking area, and then there's an L-shaped area for a few tables and stuff for seating on the interior, and on the there's just that little square for like generic tables for people to eat at, benches and tables.
Okay. All right then. Well, I was gonna try and chow down on some food, but I'll just be a little bit more conservative then when I'm eating.
Oh, I see.
So
That
I'll
was 100%. Just
I'll just sit with
hands
Val.
in pie.
Just kind of conservatively, just get a fork full, slightly tilt my mask, and then just. It'll take forever to eat the pie, but whatever he can do. Try and eat something.
Savor it.
Exactly. Perfect.
That's not the one I'm looking for. Ignore that.
Crickets.
all of a sudden cicadas.
I love that.
It's a swarm!
I hit
You
the
said there
wrong
would be no
button.
combat.
Roll initiative.
Roll for initiative. How many do we
And-
fight? All of them. No.
You know how many pies you bought? Yeah, that many.
Oh man.
As a note, Kiki's probably gonna take her pie to go, like just stuffing her face with it, pie in hand, just walking down the streets towards the college or the bard quarters. I mean,
Please,
the
at
bard
least-
quarters.
please
Oh,
at
you're
least
heading
wipe
off
your
to the bar
face.
quarters?
Yeah, with the pie.
With
Like
the
I'm,
pie.
I'm eating it while I walk. The whole pie.
I'll probably follow Kiki. I just got like a singular jug of wine to myself, and I'm just pouring it nicely into a glass and then sipping on it.
And of course, I'm following because that's what I do.
Just lurk, creepy lurk.
Yeah, Sibler.
All
Lurk. That should be an emote. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but that should be one. Okay. So just to recap, Kiki's left with the pie. Kane and Sib are both following her.
Mhm.
Zan and Val are still inside Mary's Bake Shop eating.
Yep.
And Percy and Delia.
When is my sweet tour of the palace?
You need to start heading out in the next few minutes, probably. So time to eat some pie, and then you need to start walking because you got to walk across the main square and up that main thoroughfare up because it's up on a hill, the palace.
Mhm.
So then you got to go. It's a little bit of a walk.
Okay. Yeah, I'll catch up to the rest of the group that's heading out and everything. And again, like I'm spending all this time like just trying to get between Kiki and Kane because if you don't remember, Kane left a lasting first impression. on
Beautiful
Delia.
first impression.
A wonderful. Was it a one? Was it like the
Yeah, it was legit a one.
It was the first natural one of the game, and I
Yeah.
biffed the
So
living hell out of it.
So for those who weren't here last week, Delia has a really poor first impression of Kane, who's now just trouncing along with Kiki. So I'll go up and grab Kiki's arm, the one that's not filled with pie. I'm not gonna do that. And
I mean, her third arm, because I'm pretty sure she's got like both hands on.
just get like 7 arms for pie.
You know those Korean elves with 3 arms.
Oh yeah, the Korean elves. Oh man, terrible.
Oh my.
We all have bags of holding, so I love the fact that everybody's carrying their pies.
God. You are all stupid. You have bags of holding, and you are holding pies in your hands. You are stupid.
some of us.
Yeah,
some
but
of
how
us
am I
have
gonna
our
eat the
weapons.
Some of us
pie
were
if it's
sat
in
down.
the bag?
You just
Duh.
reach in and grab a slice, Kiki. See, you keep
Do I put my
moving.
whole head in it? Do you know that there's no air in those things? Trust me, I tried.
Do not put your whole head in it. I could not bear the
But you
sight
know
of your
what?
face covered in pie. Wait. Yes,
The
I
pie wouldn't go bad, at least, because
Hmm.
air,
There you go.
wouldn't
did. The
rot.
voice in the sky has a point.
God.
With like jelly like running down my chin, I'm gonna
Oh.
like raise the pie tray towards Kane to see if he wants any.
Oh no, thank you. I've got wine. It's like pie insides, but liquid.
It's like
And
berry
better.
pie, just rotted.
Liquid
That's
and very
not so
alcoholic.
tasty.
Delia's just like, oh, ignore him. Lovely lady, lovely maiden, would you care to accompany me to a special tour of the palace today?
Oh, I'd love to. But what about the bard quarters? I said I'd go visit them.
Wyndon, will there be time to visit the bard quarters after our tour of the palace?
Absolutely. He kind of smiles and winks at Kiki. He's like, "Bard quarters, you can pretty much visit anytime, and it gets more exciting at night." But yeah, no. Wink, wink.
Is it coming on to me?
Whoa, what
Maybe.
the hell? You stop on this part.
Kiki's gonna just like hand off like the dirty half-eaten tray pie to Wyndon and be like, "Oh, thank you. Here you go." And she'll wrap her arms around Delia's arm and just kind of like skip.
Hmm.
After Delia invites Kiki to do the thing, I kind of just get a little bit closer to Kiki and just I'm not allowed to leave your side. Remember that. Wherever you go, I must follow.
Oh, sure. I guess you can just sneak in.
Is it because I'm a rogue? Is that why you would say that?
No, that's just what
mean-
you do.
You're right.
That's classist. That is classist.
Hold up a minute. Percy, would you say, are you still in the bake shop?
At this point, I think I'm just outside with Delia and the rest of the group.
You're just there.
Everybody
Okay.
just
Yeah.
eats a pie, then leaves a Percy sitting there just to sit down on the table and go, all right, guy. Oh.
Okay, so Wyndon is going to assess the group as a whole. Like, he knows that he has to take Delia. Delia is his priority, but he also gives Percy a solid looking up and down,
Oh.
and then approaches and says, forgive me, but
Troublemaker.
is it my understanding, based on your garb here, that you are a servant of Mistra?
Yes, actually.
Would you perchance be in a meeting with the committee for the festival? We always appreciate clerical inspiration for our holidays. And Mistra, as you can see, has her fingers in the pie, as it were, of Quen'Yalar. And he just gestures around, and you just see, like, taking a view of this gorgeous vista of the city, which is pretty much only visible because of magic. Like, this entire city is enchanted so that it looks like it did in its heyday. So basically, Wyndon is giving you the invitation to join the party to go up to the palace.
Oh, he's gonna play us like that.
As intriguing as it sounds, just witnessing Mistra's caress on this village is fine enough for me. I
You see
may join you
Wyndon
later
wins a
on.
little bit as you say village. You just think it's so much bigger than a village.
This party is
This poor bard. This poor bard. It's
Uh,
like,
Kiki's going to visibly frown at Percival when he says no. And
So
she's gonna start to
Percival
like,
notices this and goes,
guys.
she's gonna start to
Hello.
puppy dog him, like just. But new friend, you won't join us?
when you put it that way, I suppose I could spare some time.
Oh,
This
goody!
palace probably has much more of Mistra's embrace in it after all.
Excellent.
Besides, we're gonna go visit the bard quarters after, so it's not like you're missing much.
That's a fair point.
And
Wyndon, was it? I think I'll take you up on your offer.
excellent. And Wyndon gets a little hop in his step. This little like jig in the air. He's like, oh, well, maybe he's a dancer.
Winston.
Wyndon, sir. My name is Wyndon. Wyndon
I
Everett.
apologize.
Sir Bernard gives an audible chuckle. He's just, Winston.
You just hear Zan in the
Uh,
inside the bake shop like,
Percival
Is
just
there a
kinda
way
grins.
to purchase a ticket or something, or possibly persuade you to allow me to join this little party of tourists?
Oh, he stops and thinks a minute and looks you up and down and then looks at Delia and says, well, it's really up to you, Miss Delia. If you say that this person is a part of our party, then who am I to?
Uh-oh.
I make eye contact with Kiki real quick, and like kind of give like a slight like these kind of like look in my eyes.
Kiki's gonna
Do-
turn to
do like-
Delia.
the pouty lip and everything. Just like,
I'm just a poor half dragon.
Delia does the little no meme face, just like, nope, nope.
Oh, Miss Delia. I'm sure he means no harm. Besides, we're all new friends. We should take care of each other, right?
Right.
Wouldn't it be fun?
That's just a baby crying in the background.
That's actually
He
Kane.
turns to Kane, the baby screaming.
Don't leave me behind!
The baby crying is
Delia.
Kane.
Delia looks like between Kiki and Kane, then back at Kiki. and then makes the this face.
Oh man.
Fuck. I suppose.
Since
It's a festival, and what better way to embrace the kindness of the goddess than by giving a second chance?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
They're right out the bake shop, right? Like they're just pretty much right out.
I would say that they had passed the bake shop or on that street, like around here-ish, and we're starting to make their way towards either the Bard Quarter or the square.
But
the
they're most
activity
likely
zones.
they're most
The
likely
second they
talking
started-
like loud enough that both Val and I can hear.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I was gonna say the second they started sort of leaving eyesight, Val would have just like inhaled as much pie as they possibly could, probably made more mess on themselves, and ran after them.
But my butt.
And I will bump
Alright.
into the burner as I'm running up.
Zan just
Oh.
Zan just jogs out as well, like holding like part of a pie.
Fuck my life.
And I'll
You may have a little bit of pie on your jacket now.
No, no. Do you know how hard it is to get boysenberry out of this material?
Oh, it's apple.
I'll mosey up to Wyndon and say, since everybody's going as well, may I be part of this tour? We would love to see the palace.
Wyndon again looks at Delia. It's on you.
She
No
looks
pressure.
around and she's like just looking at the group and everything. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 7's a lucky number. I suppose no more. It's like
So Delia is
"All right."
basically Oprah. You get a ticket.
No, you get a ticket. So since it's a lucky number, but now we have let's go. We walk now. No more stragglers, no more ragamuffins joining this group.
Okay.
Am I to understand that we are going directly to the palace at this time?
Yes, you will start making your way up to the
Okay.
palace. So as you do so, Wyndon will point out little things about the town and say, again, just a reminder that there are statues scattered throughout the city, and that they are orating statues that if you pay a copper, you can turn them on essentially, and they will speak and give you a little tidbit about whatever they're programmed to tell you. And there's music and different. You can spot the bards, like they're clearly bards. They've all got either musical instruments or they're dancing or doing something. Some are loitering, waiting to be hired or waiting for their particular performance to start. But they're everywhere. You can spot them. And again, you have the option of hiring bards to entertain you. Yes. So you're going to pass across the main square and hook a left past the fairgrounds. You'll see the visitor center on the right. Again, the visitor center, if you have any questions, if you need a good meeting point, or if, basically any issues or questions, you go to visitor center and they will help you. Passing up, you'll pass by the Bard Quarter. So very elaborately decorated. Most of the motifs are minstrels and festival going type stuff. The whole roadways is decorated with basically pumpkins and gourds and hay bales and things that evoke the harvest festival. You'll also pass by the old garrison, which is technically off limits, but it's basically where the barracks used to be, in the training yard and the parade grounds. But it's like it's gated off, but it's like really impressive looking from the outside. And then most of the buildings, as you pass the Bard Quarter and the old garrison on the left, again, are off limits, but you just get this sumptuous view of, living quarters, manses, bankers, all kinds of typical city dwellings, but a little bit more residential on that side. And the road will start sloping up as you approach the palace, because again, it is built on a hill. And the palace is surrounded by this huge bulwark, this I don't know, let's say three or four stories tall, like thick, like 10 feet thick walls, masonry walls. And then an elaborate series of gates and portcullis at the opening, which are of course raised right now because guests are admitted. And as you walk past, you will be seeing groups of people that have their bard tour guides. So you might be hearing quips and little bits of music and stuff from different parties, and people laughing or asking questions about the history of Quen'Yalar.
So are we in like eyesight of the palace at this moment?
We just passed the front gates, right?
Yeah, you just got through the main gates, and yes, you can now see the glorious palace in all its glory and glorious.
Glory.
What's it look like? Okay, so it's mostly like an alabaster white. It has very fluted parapets. There's a lot of decorative wood carved. I can't think of the proper words, but there's not as much stone as you would expect. It's a mostly wooden constructed palace. Again, with like alabaster plaster type exterior. Some parts of it, like the entranceway, like you'd have the stairwell like leading up to the main entrance, like a really wide. Like I don't know if you guys have been to many palaces or historical sites like that, but like a really wide. Yeah, so like a shallow stepped but very wide stairway leads up into the main part of the palace, and of course there's gardens laid out, and there's a lot of faux stone and ceramic statuary, ceramic, all the decor on the stairwell, like it's a tiled stairwell, so like this city Quen'Yalar is particularly known for its ceramics, so it's porcelain, a lot of porcelain statues, like really fine stuff, but not as much like marble or stone as you might typically expect from like a palace. It's more natural elements. Lots of really...
Percival's gonna look off at the palace and just just say to himself out loud, "Strangely humble for a village of magic."
Why is it made out of so much stone?
Well, Wyndon smiles like, well, it's actually not quarried stone per se. A lot of these stone elements is stone that had been rock that had smashed, powderized, and then recombined with water and other materials to create a slurry, I suppose you could say, that would harden in a mold and take the shape. So they're not as into quarrying stone for materials. That's more of a dwarvish thing, and we don't really do that here. But clay, using clay to build stuff, we're not too far from the Southern River, but
where's all the wood? Why didn't you just use trees?
Well, the surrounding area is actually very pastoral. There are pockets of woodland, but most wood would actually come from wow, I need to pull up that map, huh? Give the
Did you
GM
need
a
the
second.
world map?
I do.
I got you.
Kiki with the first world question.
Right.
That was all Kane, by the way. He's like, the world map?
Slams it out.
Like, why wood? Why is your hair pink? Next question.
Right. So the woods in Fairgrove, that's like a giant old forest, and there are pockets of forest around Quen'Yalar, but much smaller, like groves. It's mostly like soft rolling hill, very Shire-esque, to pull a Tolkien reference. So there is wood, but not like an overabundance. And again, the elves don't like to quarry stone, so they kind of
Does dirty work.
yeah.
So, oh, sorry, I'll let you go.
No, go ahead. You had a
Okay.
question.
So the entire palace itself then is essentially just like one giant ceramic vase, essentially.
Yeah, you could say that.
It's
It
not
is a
rigged
large of it. A
one, though.
large amount of it is actually like plastered. So if you've seen like old, like medieval, sort of like wattle and daub, if you know what that is. So you have like the wood cross beams, and then you fill it with a weird mixture of like straw and stuff, and then over that you cover it with plaster.
Yeah.
But think of it sort of like that, but way more elaborate. So you have what wooden structures are visible, are highly polished and intricately carved, and where it's not just smooth pure white alabaster, which by the way is not exactly hard to maintain, but hard to maintain in that, keeping it fresh. So it's enchanted so like it doesn't get dirty. Like there's no like smoky soot on it. Like it's immaculately white where it is. And then it has beautiful ceramic and porcelain and faux stone decor. So like I said, the stairways are tiled, almost like Spanish tile, but more like you would expect to see in a Spanish villa. Like there's just a lot of tiled flooring. Like they do a lot of tile here. So, but it's elven tile, so it's much more
Zed kind of says to himself, the architecture is impeccable, even for Avogalidian standards.
Yes, I was about to comment that on myself. It's kind of like home.
You have low standards.
Ursula just kind of looks at Keithy and nods in agreement.
Just about everybody has insulted Windgate in this poor
audibly
city.
laughs at that comment.
Zan looks at Cyberna, who's still in their elven form, right?
Yeah, I saw my ears.
Are you Avogalidian?
No. I'm not.
Okay.
Val is absolutely looking at the palace in absolute wonder.
I'm just ready to get inside so I can
Also, quick check. I think we might be having some audio issues.
Oh.
Because I've had 2 people message me being like, I don't think we can hear anything. And they're not sure if it's their end or if it's our end.
I know I got a couple.
I can hear it.
Issues just.
I can hear things just fine.
Could be just those people, because I know somebody said that you and Corvus were quiet, so I turned you guys up.
Grizz, you need to turn yourself up as well.
I need to turn myself up.
Just a tiny bit.
A couple of us might be slightly quiet, but we should be fine.
It's probably not me.
Cool,
All right.
cool. I just figured I'd double check.
All right. Thank you for that.
Okay. Sorry.
Technical interruption.
Yeah.
So we left off with Val being gobsmacked.
Yes. Also, I'm wearing my ears again because I've noticed how pretty this palace is, and I'm like, I am dirty as hell.
Yes, you
I
are.
might as well look half presentable.
It's much better. Can you just, Vinton? I have a question. After we leave Quen'Yalar, are we allowed to keep these ears as souvenirs, and will they work outside of the city?
You may absolutely keep them, but no, their enchantment is only active within Quen'Yalar. However, it will look like faux elf ears on the side.
Is there a way I can pay any sum of money to make them work outside of the city?
You could speak with the local arcanist. We have a wonderful mage by the name of Jordan.
Jordan?
Jordan.
About
Jordan the
in next
mage?
few days.
Jordan the mage. Jordan the quizzical. Anyway, Jordan could potentially be convinced, but you would have to discuss that with him. I don't know offhand what materials or
Wunderbar.
price.
Val, in the next few days is going to be your birthday, and I'm going to get you a gift.
Is it really Val's birthday?
My birthday.
Oh, but Val's perfect just the way they are.
Yes, yes. You're going to get a present soon.
Okay.
Percival's gonna lean over to Sabrina and go, "I'll help fund it."
You have become my best friend right now. If you can remove this Smoochkin from my eyesight, please. They bleed.
You know we can hear you.
Oh, yes, I know.
Berna, that's not very nice.
I'm not a nice man.
Wyndon is listening to this and then casually interrupts and says, actually, if you're in need of dry cleaning services in East Quen, there's a lad named Percival also who will be able to take care of that for you. They have a fine cleaning shop. They handle all of our costumes and stuff. especially
Actually,
I will quickly take off the ears and be like, don't worry, I can do it myself. And like prestidigitation, clean myself, just like dead stare Sabrina in the eye. And then put the ears back on.
just like wiping your face off with like your sleeve and
and then you just
It's a lot
pie
more
in the
than that.
face.
So it's like I become completely clean. And then I just put the
you.
ears back on.
Percival leans back into Sabrina. I resign my funding.
Oh.
I will pay you a silver piece a day to stay like that.
A silver, you say?
Silver.
Sorry, a silver, you say?
Vinton, as we are going up to the palace, once you drop us off, would you mind taking this coat with you? And I will give you the coin when you return to have this cleaned. Unfortunately, I have gotten apple stains all over, and I just cannot have that.
Kiki uses prestidigitation on Sabrina.
Ah, you can do it too. Never mind.
Yes. Now, would it kill you to be a little nicer to Val?
Probably.
Well, then probably I will never use prestidigitation on you again.
Sabrina, it works the other way.
No, don't say that to me.
I lean down to Val.
My virtues are at an
I won't
impasse.
stop you.
Cleanliness.
Also,
being nice.
I'm gonna like punch you slightly and open my hand like, Silver, come on, it's one day, come on.
I slide of hand, slip them a silver piece. Like I got you on this. Okay, I don't even like try to like hide it. I'm just like silver. You all heard me say it. I don't have to hide it.
So, Winston, are you going to take us inside?
Oh my god.
He cringes a little.
Through
yes.
all of this, Delia's just like, Shantae, give me strength.
Percival's thoroughly amused by all of this.
I want to lean down to Val like, let's mess with him a little bit at some point. This man.
Oh.
And I'm referring to Cyberna.
Oh, him too, yes.
Whoever the two closest people are to me, I'm gonna grab their arms and I'm gonna march forward to the palace, like into it.
I imagine that would be Delia and Kane, actually.
I will in synchronization skip with Kiki.
We're off to see the
wizard.
We're off to see, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, we're off to see the wizard.
No, that is in the next palace. We are off to see like the king or something.
Well,
Jordan's not in this palace.
Fluff your ego,
about
but you
your ear
just
thing
raised
later.
yourself 10 friendship points.
Hey. I take out like my little black journal and I just mark 10 points. And then I put it back away.
It's in a friendship journal. Today was a good day. I got 10 friendships. I can just
Speaking of books, Kane, did you actually keep that idea as far as your special item?
Yeah.
All right. Just need a reminder.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, where's Ivy?
Ivy's in the jacket, just like always. Like,
I don't know, DM, who's in control of Snake.
Yeah.
Where is Ivy?
I mean, like anytime anytime Ivy does anything, I'm feeling like it's probably gonna be in the jacket where she always is, unless like you're in the mood to cause chaos, and then I will follow with chaos.
Well, I mean, you know, that's why I was asking. Like,
Yeah.
where is your snake, Kane?
I'd probably I'm gonna pat myself and be like, right here. This is a big ass little thing. And then
Because
when I pat, all you hear is just slight little hisses, probably, just like.
If you a little squirm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you just woke him up from the nap.
Yeah.
It's like, bitch, I'm trying to sleep.
Anyway, Wyndon's gonna run in front of you with the flourish and like gesture with his hat as to like, oh, this way, and like, you know, there's a big old door in the entrance that's just open. You see guards posted on the outside of it, but again, they're mostly for show.
Wyndon has a hat. Could I possibly take it out of his hand and put it on myself?
You could try, but he's a few paces ahead of you.
Like, are you gonna slide a pan?
Like when he like passes by, I see his hat, and I'll just like, hey, and then I'll put it on.
So you totally pull like a scorpion and you throw Ivy out and you're like, get over here!
Get over here, and I got the hat now.
Ivy says,
You know what? Roll a dexterity.
A dexterity? Okay.
Let's see if you can get it.
Hey!
Whoa.
22.
Yeah. So yeah, you nab the hat,
and I kind of like place it like where it's like tilted up a little bit, just slightly up, and then I just have a really big cocky smile on my face, and I'm continuing to skip.
Wyndon's gonna roll with it. He's like, okay, I don't have a hat now. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. This way, everybody, and you know, proceeds to smile and nod at the two guards, and then walk through the entrance, and then stop and gesture for everyone to come inside.
So as we pass
I go inside.
as we pass the guards, Percival's gonna take one of the bottles of wine and like a pie that he bought from the store and just hand it over to the guards.
Here's my pocket pie.
Just gonna hand it to one of the guards. Okay, the guard, you can hand it out to him, but he's just gonna look at you and he's not gonna grab it.
You're just gonna like whisper, "It's from Mary's."
Yes.
Just press it against his face if he doesn't accept it. Just like, take the pie.
No, I like to
it's
think
like-
Percival just wasn't looking when he was handing it to them, so he just let go of the glass of like the bottle of wine, thinking the guard already grabbed it,
Oh,
and
no.
just falls.
So you're just gonna like drop the
And then
pie
hearing
and
that, he stops himself from like letting go of the pie and goes, "Oh, shite."
So wait, did you drop the pie?
No,
So
They
you're
got the
still holding it.
wine.
he dropped the wine, thinking the guard grabbed it, and before he dropped the pie, he heard the like.
So you saved the
shattering.
pie, dropped the wine. Wine is now splattered everywhere.
Save the pie, drop the wine.
And you've got a guard that's just like looking at you, just like his lips are tight and white. He ain't moving, but he's just looking at you like,
Percival's gonna just stop receding and just start apologizing. He'll like take off his jacket and start mopping up the wine off the floor. I'm so
You hear-
sorry for this. I
hear
thought you grabbed
Cyberna in the
onto it.
background.
So interesting
Ugh.
thing. Since you dropped it right at the entrance to the palace, you'll notice that the wine, which had splattered on the walls, is disappearing.
Mhm.
What about the wine on the floor?
That's not fine. Sorry.
The house eats, guys.
Or is it like is the illusion covering it up?
Probably the illusion.
God, I could be walking through Phyllis
I don't
and
know.
not even know it. Oh.
I don't know, Kane, the person with the dragon eyes.
What do you see, Kane?
I don't see anything. I just have a nice hat.
Alright, fair enough.
Detecting the hobbits to Quen'Yalar.
No.
How
Oh,
dare
Jesus
you.
Christ.
We're off
Yeah,
to a
Kane,
so,
good start.
roll for initiative.
Where the wine has spilled on the palace itself, on any of the palace grounds, it is disappearing. Now the pottery is it, or was it a jug?
It was a
You
joke.
said there were
Yeah.
jugs, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. That is still there, but where all the wine has spilled, it has essentially vanished. Except for on the guard, his pant leg's a bit wet.
Percival knows how to clean that up and just starts dabbing it with his
Oh.
jacket. Just, I'm so
a
sorry
Wyndon
for
will,
this. I
will come
thought
up
we'd
to
been-
you and like pat your back and think, no, sir, it's all right. Percy will take care of that later. The dry
What?
cleaner.
Percy's like, I am Percy.
I am Percy.
Just Percival just stands there, looks, and just goes, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah, but this Percy
Huh.
spells his name different. Pursey.
Disgusting.
He needs to be killed.
I'm with you on this.
We leave the
Only
castle
villains
just
do
to
that.
find this Percy.
New
I
rage
thought my
boss.
name was terrible.
No, yes. I'll ask Wyndon. You know what happened to this? What happened to the stain? Where did it go?
Oh well, the palace is been enchanted so that it doesn't age or show any deterioration or dirt or it's always immaculate.
Saburn is just like, oh my god.
I'm getting that
Percival just kind of
peculiar
jolts up, like
feeling.
starry-eyed, going, I get it! Magic!
Magic.
I love
Magic.
magic. Yes, magic.
Interesting. I apologize for the inconvenience, but shall we go? Shall we, please?
Yes. Okay.
Nice.
So you've gone into main entryway, and it's this vast room. Basically a foyer on steroids. Beautiful tile everywhere. Lovely porcelain, like just super delicate, gorgeous porcelain vases and statuettes and hanging chandeliers of crystal glass. And then you are escorted down a hall, which is just assume that everything's just like mostly beautiful tile and porcelain with like beautiful velvet throw rugs, like long. There's a word for that type of rug, but I'm blanking on it. And okay, that's gonna bug me now. So somebody find out that word for me.
What is it?
the type of carpet that you have down a long hallway.
Like just a hole runner?
A red carpet?
Maybe
Yeah, it'd be. Is it a carpet or is it like a rug?
it's more like a
You think,
rug.
Oh, so
you
it's
thinking
like
carpet
it's
like a-
runners?
a runner.
Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so like lush velvet runners down. And then multiple doors to like different rooms. Some of them are double doors, and some of them are only single. You see some lovely serving wenches walking around, off doing chores, and guards posted at every turn of a hallway. And then you're led through this little maze of, I don't think you could find your way out if you didn't have Wyndon, into a small chamber. And it's like a waiting room. And there's these beautiful chairs laid out. There's about 24 chairs. Some of them are single chairs. Some of them are like two-seater benches. And there's a small desk and a nice little halfling secretary at the desk. And they are not wearing their elf ears, though they should be. So you see them scramble as you guys enter unannounced to put on their headband and go from being a balding glass wearing halfling clerk to a respectable, suddenly 2 feet taller, blonde high elf.
You're not an
Vinton.
elf.
Vin,
Uh,
I paid for the whole package experience here, and my immersion is just broken.
Wyndon, I'd like a refund, and I put my hand out.
Delia's just gonna like slap his hand out. Like, stop that.
I'm just joking. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yes.
gonna, like,
Well,
rub my
you know,
hand.
if you have any quibbles, I'm afraid that I would have to forward you to the visitor center. They will handle that.
So
But yes, here we are. We will wait here. The committee should be assembling any minute now, and he turns to look at the formerly half elf, or excuse me, halfling now high elf clerk, and yes, Wibblesprig. What about? Are we on time? We have a few minutes, correct? And you see, Wibblesprig will pull out some papers and shuffle it, and just kind of like look around at everybody and look at his papers and like, well, who all is here? You were sent to escort a Miss Delia Evermore, but there appear to be 7 people you brought.
We are all Delia Evermore. They're Delia, I'm Delia. We are all Delia.
we're her entourage.
Entourage.
Protection.
Oh, and they see the Wibblesprig lean forward and look at you a little more close and say, "Are you all servants of Shantae?" And he's looking at each of you, and he sees, you know, Percy's clearly a paladin of Mistra, or at least a servant of Mistra, as far as he knows, and you know, Delia is clearly a servant of Shantae, but the rest of you are quite
I'm gonna smile
a rabble.
and just shake my head with like a really big smile, just like yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the same thing, but doing a no.
Zan tries to like nod, but he's obviously wearing clothing.
So you
from
just
a
hear like
city
a
that,
little like shaking of a
worships
wooden mask.
Dogma and Gond.
Would I have to do persuasion or something?
I'll step forward. I'm Delia Evermore, and I'm sorry if there's any inconvenience. But in the spirit of Shantae's bounty, I've asked Wyndon to kindly extend your gratuity. I'm looking for a word.
Gratitude. Yeah.
Your hospitality to my looks around at the group, and I'm just like, acquaintances.
I see. All right. Well, you know, more the merrier, I say, he says. And Wibblescrib looks at everybody and says, well, would you mind making introductions, please, so I can formally jot you onto the agenda?
Oh, Delia's just shy. We're all friends here. My name is Kiki. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Please as well. So we have, I'm presuming that you guys will go through this round of introductions so we don't have to do it again since we did it at the top of the episode. So you see Wibblescrib write everybody's names down and take account of what they are probably good at. And it's like, oh, so we have 2 paladins, a ranger, a bard, an artificer, and his child companion. And because
I look like an elf, so
Oh yeah, they have the ears on.
yes,
yeah.
Make sure to tell Wibblescrib that my name is Jaleel.
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 I was gonna say a new name too. Yeah, Jaleel and
Alright.
Jebediah.
Yes.
Okay, hold on, let
Oh
me write these down.
I'm not doing it to be silly. This is just like
No, I was
I'm
doing
on the
like
run. If I give my name out, people are gonna find me. Kiki.
Jaleel.
My bad.
Jaleel.
Zan chimes
How do you
in,
even
It's
spell that?
Jaleel, but it's Elven, so it's like
What?
He's spelling that one in chat.
Oh. okay.
Ah,
it's Elven, so it's
my
like
God.
you know, apostrophes and way too many vowels.
Hey, I take offense to that.
I resemble that remark.
that's mine. Jebediah.
That's Jediah.
Jediah.
Dial.
Jabba. Daya.
Kane didn't learn so good. He's
Yeah.
living.
I've been living with hoodlums, alright? We don't learn this spell.
Zan just chimes in, kind of like stutters for a second. Frank.
Oh, quick question.
Mm.
How many of you speak Elvish? Sylvan.
Not me.
Sylvan?
Actually,
I
wait,
do.
let me check.
I know
Wait,
Elven
Oh,
and
Elven
I speak
Sylvan.
Elvish. I speak
know
just
both.
Elvish, not Sylvan. Oops.
I only know Elven.
Tell me it's Sylvan.
Please tell me it's
I
Elven.
speak Elvish, yeah.
I just wanted for future. Okay. So Wibble Squib is has written everybody's name down, kind of sized everybody up, which is interesting because again, everyone's not everyone. Kane, you are not wearing your elf ears,
Nope.
right? So you're just rolling dirty as a dragon. Okay.
I feel like that's a
and,
little classist, but alright.
well, you know,
I'm only half dirty.
we have dirty. I mean, you're also a black drake.
Yes.
You know.
Where are we going with this?
What is indeed? God, what are you trying to say?
It's made it so much worse.
Kane is a black dragon.
I'm what?
I meant more to infer that black dragons aren't known for being nice.
Yeah. Well, we're not like black dragons aren't like the mean like a red dragon is.
Yeah,
They're
and
not
also,
like.
aren't black dragons swamp oriented?
I don't believe
That's-
so.
They're swamp
they?
poison and besides being like an undead dragon, also
Yeah.
they're like associated with like death type stuff.
Right. So you know.
I'll look that up while we continue.
Anyway, we'll continue and say, well, I suppose that this is fortuitous because you can always use more help for the festival. So if you're willing to participate, I think we'd be glad to have you. Because what you have been summoned to is a committee meeting, and today is the first day of the festival. And while Delia is a very important person, there's a reason she's a very important person. You will be asked to participate in the sanctifying rite to start the festival officially at the commencement ceremony. And before that happens, there will be a harvest parade. So the parade will
flares up at the word parade and slowly goes to the back of the group.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
What's wrong, Percival?
Not too fond of parades, I'm afraid.
Oh, you just haven't done it right.
I know, that's the problem. That's a story for another time, though. Don't mind me. Just carry on.
Okay. So, yes, Wilbur Scrib is going to basically give a quick outline of what's going to happen. So we're waiting on Tassar Oloriath. Tassar Oloriath, by the way, DM note, is Didney. He's the guy who runs all of this.
He's the big boss.
He's the big boss.
Can you spell his name for me real quick?
Well, I spelled it one way, and then Ultima has spelled it another way that's more elfy, so I like the way he spelled it.
Wait, I did what?
Yeah, last session.
Xantharin, can you go ahead and spell that out for me? Because writing this down.
I have to find it.
I'm going to put way too many apostrophes in his name.
I didn't
No
type
such
anything
thing.
out last time.
Tassel Oloriath? Is that what it was?
Tassar, yeah, hold on. It's right here.
Tassar
Let me link it in. I found it.
Tassel Oloriath. Got it.
Tassar Oloriath.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. Taro
Yes.
Dune Tassar.
Yes. Oh, let me pull that up.
So they're essentially like the mayor of the city as well.
They're Disney World.
They didn't.
Yes, you could say that.
There
So,
did me.
Yeah, you can say he's the mayor. He's known as the curator, though. That's his official title, the curator, Tessar Loriath. Because in his mind, whether people respect that or not, he at least projects that he views Quen'Yalar as a living museum. But clearly it's a tourist trap.
Tessar Walt Aloria.
I wonder if trap sense works for tourist traps too. That just popped into my head. Sorry.
If what?
If you have trap sense or something as your character and all that, and you just constantly anxious the entire time you're at this place. You're like, why is this being triggered?
Somebody's gonna offer me something. I can feel it.
It sounds like somebody wants to sell me something.
I told you he was onto
Can I
us.
meet this Eloriath fellow. I need to have words with him about his palace.
Oh.
Wow. Well then.
Going to repeat the words that would have spoken to me earlier, Kiki. Be nice.
Yes, well, we will be meeting with Tessar Loriath shortly. The curator will be ushering in. We're just waiting for the rest of the attendants for the meeting to gather, which they should be arriving any minute now. And pretty much as he's finishing, you hear a knock at the door, and then it opens, and a very tall, bulky man walks in. He's a little bit balding, think Friar Tuckish, and in well-appointed clothes. So not Friar Tuckish in that regard, more in physique. And this is Mr. Burgess, who runs the Wellmont Inn and Stables.
Mr. Burgess?
Burgess. Burgess.
I got it right! Mr. Burgess.
Mr. Burgess, come in, please. Welcome. And this large man shuffles in. He's technically a half-elf in that he has elven lineage, but you can clearly see the human side is strong with this one.
Maybe slightly orcish.
No, I just think that his elven heritage is a little more diluted than some. And
I know, I was just talking about his stature.
Yeah. No, because he's not especially strong looking. He's just bulky.
Okay.
Right.
So
and what was he the owner of again?
What was his name?
No, what was he the owner of again?
The Wellmont Inn and Stables.
Okay.
So you said that he was dressed rather well, so he's kind of flaunting his wealth with how he presents himself.
Quite. So
Percival
he's
just
basically
kind of glares at him.
But his wealth is of that antiquated style. So it's like it's festival noble finery from the in the elvish style from 800 plus years ago. But so he's basically he's in his festival outfit, like he's ready to
party.
He's got his hat on backwards and he's ready to party.
Oh no! I hate it.
Looking, Percival. If you want a jacket like that, I can get you one.
I think I'm fine, honestly. I've left enough of those at home. I'm not one for that kind of thing.
No,
That's okay. I'm not either.
Quick off-topic question. Does the city curate stuff that isn't just about itself? Does it also curate other elven history?
It does, but for most of that, you would have to visit the library and or talk with the priest of Ogma.
Ogma, okay.
Yes, I did mention previously that the priests of Ogma are actually the ones that run the library.
Oh, right. Okay.
Priest of Ogma?
Yes, the god of knowledge.
Okay, then I'll probably head back to the library. Not right now, but probably much later on.
Yeah.
He really wants to learn more about what people interpret of his city.
Yes, the curator is mostly invested in promoting elven culture in its heyday, and and specifically Quen'Yalar. He's very Quen'Yalar oriented, and part of
Right.
that fact that he counts himself, he's directly related to the last ruling house of Quen'Yalar. So like it's his family history to him.
Okay.
Like, you know, if things had been differently, this could have been his birthright.
Wait, Aloriath or to Burgess?
Tessar Aloriath, the curator.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So Mr. Burgess comes in and just kind of looks at everybody and smiles in a fairly friendly manner. He doesn't seem standoffish at all. He's large. He doesn't seem too friendly nor too aloof or disapproving or anything like that. He's just like, oh, hey, people. Hi, people.
Is he bearded or shaven, like on his face?
He's got I actually wrote this down somewhere. It's different.
Because I just imagine him kind of like a Santa Claus-ish sort of look. Maybe,
Not
like, slightly
quite.
Mormon.
I mean, he's not white haired or anything. He's got dark brown hair.
Oh,
But
okay.
he's got like that monk top, so like he's balding on the top, has a little bit of a bowl cut on the side,
Okay.
and he's, I guess, no, it's not the right word. I swear I wrote it down.
Mutton chops, no sideburns.
I could probably see
He
that
has
for
a
an owner of an
horseshoe mustache, so it's
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a mustache that goes down and it's like real
Handlebar.
thick.
Okay.
It's not quite a handlebar,
No?
but because handlebars go out, horseshoe goes so from the lip goes
Touche.
straight down.
Okay.
Yeah, horseshoe, because you know stables.
Oh no, he's a
God.
Oh,
horse.
God.
I hate this.
Your face is a
Roll for initiative.
No,
Roll Constitution saving throw.
yeah. So basically the only reason you can tell that he has any elven lineage is the fact his ears are a little wee bit pointed. He's got the half elf ears, but the rest of him is like the human is strong with this one.
That's so offensive.
Just giving you a
The
descriptor.
human is strong with this one. I'll have to use that in real life.
Like the most like average person you can see.
Something like that. Like they're just being like, oh my god.
Is there anything that looks super shiny?
Yeah, I
in
was gonna
this
ask that. I was like waiting to ask that. Is anything
Oh yeah,
really
no,
nice?
he's all kinds of shiny. I mean, his hands are bedecked. He's got some chains on him. His
Ooh.
belt is lovely inlaid with metal. He's got some ceremonial-looking scabbard things, like dagger scabbards. No daggers; they're actually empty. They're just the scabbards, but they look pretty.
The second we go in, like we're inside the palace, and I see everything shiny, I go down to Val and say, "Behave yourself."
Oh, we've been in the castle for a while.
I know.
Yeah, I've been
I'm
looking
finally-
for a
I'm finally
while.
able- I'm finally able to chime in and like, behave yourself.
I don't know what.
How
you're talking
expensive
about.
does the stuff around us look? Not per se the guy though.
You're in the palace, dude. Like everything looks.
Well, I know,
expensive.
but like they got an illusion, so I feel like if we grab it and then we leave, it's just gonna be like rusty. I feel like
If you grabbed a potato. Ah, shit.
there's a bunch of
Well,
shit.
Shiny potato.
I mean, you'd have. The only way you'd know that is to try.
Ah, okay.
I'm gonna give you that freebie.
I like that you told me that the guy in front of us though has a lot of. He's bedazzled
Jewelry
as
stuff on
hell.
him.
Yeah.
He's bedazzled as hell, yeah. Yeah, I like it is gaudy, like gaudy ceremonial. So you know, like Robin Hood movies
Uh huh.
and like the Errol Flynn one, right? So
Mhm.
like they took these they were inspired by the era clothing, but was not true to it, and like for the sake of film, like it's like that. Like imagine like someone taking like an historical garment and then like you know throwing
The
glitter on it. Like,
anachronism is real with this one.
right. So yeah, that's
Am I
yeah.
tempted?
It is to the point where it does seem like a costume versus like something someone would.
Is he
normally
wearing?
wear.
He's not wearing the elf ears, right?
No, he's got naturally pointed ears.
Okay, cool.
But again, they're not super pointed. They're half elf ears.
Temptation.
Okay.
Temptation.
I'll be keeping a very close
Yeah,
eye on
I will
him.
as well.
Zan just gives an audible sigh the second, he knows that Val is just eyeing
Actually,
him hard.
Can I make a perception check to see like what's most like easily like in reach for sleight of hand taking on him? Like
Well,
to like scan him up and down to see like what isn't like wrapped around his fingers or waist or neck that like you can like accidentally like
Just
bump
lift.
in and like lift off of him.
yeah, you can roll a perception for that. Go ahead.
Oh, dang.
Oh.
Oh boy.
I see his underwear.
He's wearing gold-plated.
They're bedazzled as well. Ew, he's got nipple tassels. Ah! I don't want to see this anymore.
You get disadvantage on your next insight check.
Grizz, look at that link I posted.
Oh.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. No.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like full on just kiss, and I have all the jewels on me. Like
Slide of lips? Is that what that's a slide of lips check? you
yeah,
know?
just like
Ooh.
dragon
Slice
tongue. I
of
mean,
blank skill, sleight of lips. Okay.
Oh no.
I mean, okay, so like his hands are decked, but things he's got like sausage fingers. So
yeah. So okay, he's gonna be a little bit
it
more
might be
hard to.
if you go for the rings. Now, again, he's wearing that elaborate belt. So I mean, if you're real slick, you could maybe undo that. But the scabbards are clipped in. So some of them are. He's wearing like 4.
Dagger scabbards.
decorative- Yeah,
Hmm.
varying length, and some are the kind that you slide the belt through first, and then one of them you would notice with that perception roll is just a clip-on. So like you could just like pull the pin and unhook it, and it would come off.
Okay, I'll remember this.
But yeah, but you know, it wouldn't necessarily be the easiest thing to do right then and there.
Yeah, no, I'll wait till there's like an advantage to possibly
and,
like.
So those the shoes, he has these jeweled studs, not studs. God, there's a so like the tongue of the boot, you can actually clip on a decorative like buckle kind of thing on it. So like there's jeweled buckles that you could clip off of his shoes.
Oh, okay. I'm writing all this down, but like I'm just gonna wait till like there's an advantage to like possibly get in closer and possibly do something. So I'm not gonna do anything right now, but thank you for all this information.
You're welcome.
Delia is also still like keeping an eye on these fools.
Well, you don't know of my background. You're keeping an eye on Val and Zan because they just said it blatantly. I'm not saying anything. I'm just seeing this.
No, you
Zan
did say it.
Tackless.
You did. I heard you bitches whispering last episode.
Zan did. I didn't. Zan's tactless.
I have nobody to
Hey,
share
I
this
wasn't-
information with,
I
so
specifically said I don't condone thievery, but let's keep an eye on him.
And I said, okay.
I like to think there's all of this like heat in the back of the group, and then there's just Kiki and Percival blissfully unaware of anything.
Mhm.
what do you
Kiki's
mean?
like patting his arm, like, it's okay, I'll show you have fun. I'm sure you'll have fun at the parade.
This
Don't
parade will
worry.
be fun.
It's like, I don't want to steal from him, but I want to take advantage of his money.
Yeah. So anyway, he's looking at all of you, and he gives you all kind of a big grin. And you also notice that some of his teeth are gold.
Aw, shit. Now I gotta throw some punches.
Time to kiss him and steal his teeth.
Kane slips on the elf ears. Now he doesn't look like Kane. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. So Mr. Burgess look around and say, how do you do? And dogs are knocking at the door. And he turns to Wibblescrib and is like, how much longer we got? And like, we're just waiting on Cleric Erden from Ogma. And I believe that Mistress Vera will also be in attendance. And Burgess kind of like thumps his belly, like, yep, good, sounds good, about what I expected. And And it's like, oh, who's all here? Let's see. And then he sees Delia, and he's like, ah, wonderful. We have our harvest maiden here.
Sounds ominous to me as a player.
She will be
Like
sacrificed
it's all,
at
it's all
dawn.
laughter and smiles at
Flashbacks.
first, and then there's screaming and crucifixion.
Flashbacks to Ruby. Joel, it's flashbacks to Ruby.
No, it's straight up like I feel like the Fall Maiden. What?
Right,
Oh.
right.
Wow, Delia, you sound very important.
I'm simply here to serve my goddess.
Yes. Quite right. Excited, yes. Sorry to sound Nick. It's triggered. I shouldn't be paying attention to chat. Bad DM.
We got you.
So Wibblescrib said that Mistress Vera and Cleric Erden will be joining us. And then another door on the other side of the room opens, and one of the guards pokes his head in and says, the curator is waiting in the main hall when you're ready. So Wibblescrib gestures at everybody in the room and says, well, go ahead. Go follow the guard into the waiting hall, or the main hall. So I presume you guys will.
Kiki's probably
Shuffle
gonna
through.
lead the way, honestly. She needs to have words with this Walt Disney character. Your castle is not up to snuff, sir.
I feel like it's gonna be like a Frank Castle type of conversation where he's bloody.
Oh no, you're gonna be like the mom with like the short hair.
I need to
It's like,
speak
"How
to
would
the
I
manager."
I need to speak to the manager. Yeah.
I am the manager.
So we're all going in to meet
Yep, to meet Walt.
Yes.
Walt
Tassara, yeah.
Disney. Okay.
Walt Disney. Nah. Tassara Loriath. Yeah.
He's like, why do
How-
people always call me that?
How close is Mr. Burgess?
Oh no.
Like when we're all
I-
walking through this doorway, how close is he?
I'd say he's pretty close. He's gonna shuffle closer to Delia since he recognizes her. She's the only one that he for sure knows is important here.
Oh, by the way, Percival is up at the front with me because I'm dragging him along. Because clearly he has fine
Yeah,
taste in
He
cats.
hasn't let go of Percival since his little cringe at the sound of parades.
Yes.
It's like a dog trying to get away. The leash is still holding it. I'm gonna wait. I'll wait.
So as Kiki and Percival have shouldered their way to the front, I'm kind of gonna take a step back and next to Delia, just because it's the next person that I'm like more comfortable with. Because Jesus, Val and Zan and Kane, just keeping an eye on them. I'm keeping an eye on Zan this battle.
You're keeping an eye on me?
Whispered.
Yeah, you don't hear this.
Well, I know, but like,
It's like-
you're right. I didn't hear this.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm keeping an eye
Yeah,
on
no.
Kane, but just because one, he's cute and I was charmed,
Oh.
and two, he looks shifty. He looks like a shifty guy, so I might as well I got a trained eye for this. This is what I do. Okay?
All I can think of is like Randall from like Monsters Inc. just like popping up like, huh?
Yeah.
Just
What? Because of the scales? Shifty?
Yeah, and Delia's just gonna sigh. She's like, I came to party, and now I have to be everyone's party mom.
No,
know
my
how I
pain.
feel.
A designated driver once again. The life of a paladin.
Yes. So you're ushered through, and then you enter this main hall, which would normally be used as like a not banquet, ballroom, like a ballroom. Beautiful chandeliers, big open space. It's about 3 stories high, just a big vaulted ceiling, beautiful windows out looking over one of the gardens, and you see a man, a very, very tall man. Actually, he's not that tall. He's an elf. So elves aren't actually that tall all the time. They just look tall because they're really skinny. And here's the part where I find where I wrote down what he looks like.
Long, long man.
Oh my god.
Joel.
Oh, that's what I get. Okay. So anyway, he has white blonde hair that hangs very long. It's ornately wrapped into like a very it's a single braid, but it's a very complex braid, and it's got like ribbons and stuff tied into it. And he's essentially wearing what you would associate with wizards, like wizards robes. But you know, they're like decked out, so they're very like a royal purple with lots of embroidery, long hanging sleeves. He's got a pop collar that is
How old
you know,
would you say he is?
Welcome to the club.
Delia approves.
First one does not.
Literally half of our party has like the equivalent of pop collars.
right. It's a thing here apparently.
It's fashionable in Nunya to have a popped collar.
Yeah.
How old
yes.
is he?
So it's hard to say, but he gives the impression of being like you're only seeing him. He's looking out the window, so he's like his back is kind of turned to you. But as you guys come in,
how's his ass?
You can't really see
Yeah,
it.
can I use my Dragonite? No.
His robes kind of obscure his frame. It's tall and well, tall for an elf, but he looks thin. Like he has a very petite, angular build, but it's obscured by like these big hanging elaborate robes. Like there's just it's like layers and layers of robes on him. Mostly purple, and he's got like gold filigree and like lace and embroidery like throughout. And he's got some gorgeous a very officious neck piece, like a chain, a jeweled chain. It's heavy and just like hangs over his torso, and has like elvish symbols on it. And the jewels are enormous. They're giant like cabochons, different colors, and actually surprisingly like normally associate with elves to have like more filigree, but this is a bulkier, I guess by elvish standards it almost looks rustic. But yeah, this big honking chain thing on his torso, and he'll turn and greet you and just kind of smiles in that kind of creepy false smile that like he's a trained actor kind of thing. And you'll notice that his eyes have fine lines around the corners. He's got some crow's feet, and they're a bit droopy, and blue. He's got blue eyes.
I thought some of the lines were droopy. I was like,
No, his eyes. He's got basically some age shows on him.
Okay.
Like he's not.
Would you say like human number like 40s, like late 40s?
He'd probably be in like his 4 or 500s, probably.
You would guess he's seen several centuries. It's hard to say exactly how many. Sorry, can you guys hear my dogs?
Not too much.
Slightly,
Just a
but it's
little
not
bit
bad.
is fine.
It's trash day. They must bark at the things.
Hey, it's part of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's a dog in this
In
castle.
the palace.
I thought it was
so.
perfect.
Now we're gonna have Mistress Vera come in, and she approaches from another doorway. There's like 12 entrances into this room, and Mistress Vera has a little petite yappy dog.
Vera, like Vera?
Veira, Vera.
Okay.
What's that?
Now, Kane instantaneously sees Mistress Vera Does he like what he sees?
So have you guys seen the Phantom of the Opera
Uh-huh.
remake from like 2004 or something, or whatever, a few years back?
Huh?
It was the movie one, Phantom of the Opera, and Minnie Driver playing the prima donna character. She looks a lot like that. Like she's wearing this crazy fluffy elaborate wig with like bows and stuff in it.
Oh,
and
Kane is very attracted. Okay.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Kane is very attracted. All right.
yeah, she's basically that. She's Minnie Driver. She even she has this little yappy lapdog companion that she's holding her arm. We'll just say that's what my dog is doing. He's role playing.
All right.
Great.
And she has some attendants come in behind her too. And so we have your group. We have Mr. Burgess. We have Tessa Loriath, the curator. We have Mistress Vera, and behind Mistress Vega will also enter the cleric Erden, and he's a priest of Ogma.
What was his name?
Erden.
Erden?
Mm-hmm.
U or E?
Do Odin?
You.
No.
You. Okay.
Sorry.
Erden. It's typed.
And he's a priest of Ogma.
Yes.
Okay.
And out of everybody else, he's not flamboyantly dressed at all. He's just wearing very simple priest robes.
Gotcha.
Like nice quality but simple.
Mm-hmm.
Which where are my things? You know, this is a problem with running on the games. Like I have all these tabs open, and then I have to find which tab that I'm looking for.
Who has armor in our group? Percival, right?
Delia.
Some armor, yeah.
I do.
Who's got the shiniest armor?
Percival, probably.
No.
Actually, maybe Delia. If you're wearing, are Delia
Delia
wearing plate?
does.
No, she's I think it's studded leather. It's whatever one.
Actually, you know what? Just why don't you guys just describe what you're wearing real quick?
Oh God.
I mean,
I'm wearing my elf ears, so I look like an elf.
Yeah, you're in a fine. What you can basically tell me what color you want to be, but what color?
We'll go with
robes?
greens. Nice greens.
Greens. So
robes.
pretty green elven robes.
I'll make my hair nice and long.
I don't think I put on my ears again, so I'm just wearing my normal Aviglardian clothing with the blues and with his mask.
Yeah.
Percival actually left most of his armor behind and is currently only wearing his breastplate underneath of his jacket. When it comes to armor.
Mm-hmm. Once again, there's this Mr. Vera's dog.
Mm-hmm.
That's alright. That's my idiot this time.
Yeah, I know, but we'll just say the dog noises are appropriate.
All
here.
dogs.
Oh, you know
Stop,
what? I have
Patrick.
to
Oh my god.
switch things.
Kane is gonna like find something shiny in the like area, and he's gonna kind of like check himself out so like he can like look presentable in front of the mistress. You know, he might like rub his teeth a little bit, like clean him up, and then he'll be kind of proper and clean himself.
Oh, music.
Yeah, it's time to change it. You guys aren't exactly hearing the bustling noises of town anymore. So anyway, Tessar Loriath waves at everybody to come forward, and you guys kind of spread out into a semicircle, kind of facing him. And he's like, "Welcome, welcome. Glad to see everyone was able to make it on time. I hope everyone had no difficulties with their travel or accommodation." Just kind of politely gives a pause in case anyone wants to say anything, and everyone just kind of shuffles. And does anybody say anything?
I cough.
All right. Except, so quick introductions around. I do believe there's quite a few more of you than I was expecting, and he looks pointedly at the gaggle of people behind or to the side of Delia. But I'm so happy that you could join us. We have, again, Mrs. Vera, who is our lead events coordinator. She is responsible for scheduling our entertainments and seeing that they are properly staffed and well, decorated, appointed in all the nines. And Mr. Spade will do like a little half smile and a slight curtsy and greeting. And we have Cleric Erden. Thank you so much for participating and sharing your wise counsel and infinite knowledge of things. And he just kind of like vaguely gestures with his fingers, like, you know, almost dismissively. And Cleric Erden just kind of like nods his head, like, yeah, okay. And of course, your patronage, Mr. Burgess, is, you know, where would we be without you? And Mr. Burgess chuckles. He's like, well, you wouldn't have any horses, that's for sure. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. And
He audibly says chuckle.
He has a strange fascination with horses.
Chuckle, chuckle.
What are you, a SpongeBob character?
It's this world's version
Patrick's
of
in
just
the
saying
city
lol.
too, so
Oh my god. D&D equivalent of saying lol is just chuckle, chuckle.
Oh god.
God.
Hardy har.
yes. And you hear Mistress Fair's dog yap a little bit, and she struggles to like hold her. And then Tessar Lorith approaches and, you know, extends his hand in greeting to Delia, and says, "And you must be Ms. Evermore, I believe." And, you know, do you take his hand?
Oh, yeah. I'll like offer my no. Is he like doing the like hands out to like kiss my hand or like a handshake?
Yeah. No, it's totally like the over gentlemanly. He's gonna kiss your hand and make you feel awkward.
Absolutely. She's just gonna grab his hand and like shake it as he's like trying to go and like kiss her hand.
Maybe punching him in the face with his own hand.
You like bonk his nose a couple times, and he like blinks, like, okay.
Why hit yourself?
She's not refined. She's a country girl, but she's. I'm pleased to be here. I'm absolutely thrilled to do the work of Shantae. Thank you so much for your accommodation.
Excellent. Of course, the best we do. You are, of course, a special guest for us, because where would we be doing a festival in honor of such a wonderful goddess as your patron without giving her proper dues? And we humbly hope that you will participate in our parade. Yes, that is what we would like to start with. So the parade is scheduled to begin at 3 p.m. So we have a couple hours. But with your permission, we'd like to have you seated as our guest of honor at the forefront. And there will be, as we speak, there are people outside the palace in a side courtyard that are putting together essentially parade floats, basically dressed up wagons with like hay bales and decor. Some of them have been the word. There are some people with magic that are casting either illusions or little spells to enhance the effect of the parade, as well as bard troubadours that will be performing alongside. Yeah.
You call those decorations?
Cheeky. Nice.
She's gonna grumble at under her breath. She's clearly not happy right now.
He's not impressed.
Nudge her with my elbow.
How quaint of you. Yes.
Yes. You know, you'll see Mr. Vera like tense a little bit. Like, what are you doing? Like, did somebody just insult my event?
My Disneyland.
And Tsar Lorith will take note of you, like as you grumble. He's like, "Oh, who's this?" And it's like, "Oh, an
I'm
Eladrin."
disappointed. Nice to meet. Oh, fuck.
Oh.
How wonderful! We so rarely get to entertain our cousins from Feywild. How fantastic!
Good reason I'm guessing.
And he'll approach you. You know, just so you know, Delia, that like he gave you a little wink too, because you know you're an elfin babe as far as he's concerned.
She's a fair looking.
Wait, this is
Okay.
Tesarlorius, yes.
Yeah,
This is
oh,
Aloria.
this is Sorry, I thought it was
Okay.
Burgess.
I thought it was Burgess
the
as well. I was like,
foremost
oh
brown elf.
no, power moves here.
Oh,
Hey, baby,
No,
I'm
no,
part elf, too.
Tesarlorius is the one giving you like old man creep vibes here.
Oh.
He likes
The
the
second,
ladies.
the second that Val hears Kiki's from the Feywild, they're gonna like move a little closer to Kiki. Like, really?
She's like sweating aggressively.
even Zan's just like interested in this as well, hearing the Feywilds.
Percival's
it
recovering
watch
from
on
the amount of
the
times the word parade has been spoken in the last
Having a
Just two
full
podcasts.
panic
Every
attack.
time the word is mentioned, he just like shrinks to the back of the group.
Aw, puppets.
Where is Mistress
Laura just
Vera?
sold me out. God damn it.
Where's Mistress Vera from like where Kane is? Because he's gonna throw some bedroom eyes.
She's so you're like in a semicircle around Tesarlorith, right?
Mhm.
So you guys, let's say your party's on the left hand side, on Tesarlorith's left, and she's on the right. So she's like is sort of across from you.
Should I roll for charisma with this?
What are you trying to do?
I throw some bedroom eyes.
So you're trying to get her attention?
Well, just like if she makes eye contact with me, I'd just like, you know.
All right, go ahead.
If
Roll.
you roll a
charisma.
1, you have to rip out your eyes and throw them at her.
No. Please don't be a 1.
Throw bedroom eyes, and then they
Alright, not
scream
bad.
Mhm.
profusely.
Okay.
She'll briefly make eye contact, and you can't really tell much of a reaction.
Okay.
Just more polite.
The dog boofs.
The dog is attracted to me. No, wrong one.
Arf, arf, arf. Oh, and so while everyone's starting to introduce and stuff, that dog is gonna get super excited and leap out of Mistress Feyre's arms and go running over to Kane and just start barking like a shit at your feet.
Oh no.
What are you gonna do?
Oh boy.
I.
And you start feeling a squirming in your jacket.
Oh no! I knew that was gonna. I'm gonna.
Can I like see the dog and deal?
Oh, everyone sees the dog. Like
I
it's
mean-
like friends. Like everyone's like, oh, kind of backing
So-
away.
Haha,
Mistress
like-
Feyre-
It's like being a stupid, aggressive little idiot. Can I just like pick it up? Like, oh my god, I love it.
Thank you, Delia.
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
I take
And-
a 5-foot step back from everybody.
I was like, if I reach down to pet, there's just gonna be a horrible massacre to happen. Like, so I'm like wiping sweat clean off of my forehead, like just
Just
like
bark.
just like I squeegeed and I squeezed the sponge and it's just drenched in sweat, pretty much. Like,
Kiki, Kane, and
Woo.
Percy are all sweating together.
like, oh my god, I almost
This
just.
is a matter you all. You are too hot to take off some of your armor.
I would, but there's a giant snake
Oh.
in my coat. I've got a snake
Hey,
in my
you can't
coat.
just say that out loud.
Mistress Feyre is gonna huff and like, oh, shoo shoo, and go reaching for her puppy. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's gone into. It must be just the excitement of everything. And
Wait, the dog's name is Shoo Shoo?
the dog is totally named Shoo Shoo.
Oh.
And Mistress Vera's really close to me.
She is now.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
gonna.
so
Kane
I'll hand
is.
it back after like aggressive. You know how children pet dogs?
Oh no!
Yeah.
Just like
Out too hard.
God.
I'm gonna like pet it the wrong way, like against the fur.
Oh no! Kane is
Hand
gonna.
it back.
I don't know what Kane is gonna say, but he wants to flirt now that she's much closer.
So, I imagine his bedroom eyes looking like this.
Oh no.
Wait, where'd you link it?
Oh no!
Oh.
That's maybe
Oh
if I
my
roll
goodness.
badly.
no.
That's probably if I roll badly, but
Oh no.
Oh.
she's close up to me. What am I gonna say?
I don't
Hey,
know. What
baby.
are you gonna say?
I'm gonna say, "Oh, don't worry
It's
about
my
it," and then
puppies.
I'm gonna take her hand and just kind of like give her hand a kiss. I roll for
She's
courage. Sorry.
she's gonna kind of like stare at you with really big eyes, but maybe not in the I find you attractive way. Or
Oh,
like,
no.
because you
Oh.
basically got a black scaly hand that's gripped hers, and then her
Toby.
I
dog
should
was
have
just
given
totally.
her a sign of the tongue, I think. The tongue
Oh
usually
my
wins people
God.
over.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So you're gonna see a moment of panic in her eyes, and then she'll just kind of like, and then like turn back towards Zelia to get her dog back.
Thank you for
Kane,
holding
you
my
could do
dog.
better anyways.
Oh my
It's an
God,
off-
Kiki.
I'm gonna look at Kiki and I'm gonna be like, today's just a strange off day. It usually works so well.
By the way, she is, as far as you can tell, a high elf.
Mhm.
So you do not know
Oh,
whether or not she's
shit.
wearing a headband. FYI.
You're
You
right.
pretty
She's
much don't know if any of these people are wearing headbands or not, with the exception of
Burgess.
of Burgess, who clearly isn't, and you can't see Priest Erden well enough because he's got his cowl up, so you can see his face, but you can't really see his ears,
Mhm.
so you don't know. And he's got like a tan face, white, close crop beard. Looks priestly.
Okay.
Mm.
You still
Um,
can do better.
Is
You're right. You're so right.
If she's this boring with her decorations, think about how boring she's going to be in the bedroom.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna look at Kiki and I'm gonna respond with, nothing's boring with me in the bedroom.
Oh my God.
There's a first for everything.
Touche.
Val is
Percy's
standing
in shock.
right beside you guys.
Touche.
the room that we're in, is it
Mhm.
like, is it visibly like this place is enchanted, or is that more so outside?
This whole
Like-
thing is
Hella enchant.
Okay,
Oh
so it
yeah,
has, like,
everything's
sort of
heavily
same-
enchanted.
Okay,
yes.
so
So
anything I
if
try and
nothing else, like if you try to do detect magic, like your eyes would just like bleed. Okay, like
Okay.
everything has been enchanted here.
Just horrifying screaming from behind the wooden mask.
Yeah, and if nothing else, you know that it's enchanted to stay clean.
Okay.
So like
Right.
its fine appearance is not going to be marred. That's the main point.
You gotta
here.
learn that one. We gotta go find Jordan. Jordan the mage. I wrote that
Yeah.
one down.
That elven Jordan, though.
Is it Jordan like Jordan? Like just Jordan?
Yep, just
Oh
Jordan.
my god, I
Michael
hate
Jordan.
It's not like it's not like or on.
it. There's like not even. I hate the
like
way you
that.
spelt it.
Kiki's gonna look at Tessara Loriath, and she's gonna scowl a bit because she doesn't like the fact that he called her out like that. She's clearly not happy with him.
And he's going to not understand why you wouldn't be happy with him because he's so charming and he loves himself. So, okay, so he's noticed Delia, he's noticed Kiki, clearly for their elfishness. And then he's going to turn his attention to Percy.
Son of a bitch.
No, you next, boy.
And his expression is going to light up. And oh, how fortuitous! A servant of Mistra in my house. Oh, I'm so excited. May I have the pleasure of your acquaintance, sir?
He's just like still in silence. The word parade is just playing and repeating in the back of his head, and he's like trying to think of words. It's
he's
my
gonna-
pleasure, sir.
Yeah.
Just like reach out for his hand and shake it very lightly.
Oh yeah. So he'll grip your hand a little tighter and just kind of shake it a little too long. And
So after that, Percival just feels just awkward enough to. Can he cast Divine Sense? He does not trust long handshakes.
yes, you may cast Divine Sense.
Okay. Shit, where is it?
Could quickly take a quick break.
We need to pause.
Yeah.
All right. Pause. Put the
We'll
screen
be
up real
right
quick.
back.
Yes. 5-minute break.
I need to walk shoo here.
Oh, whose server deafened me?
Chat didn't hear us talk for a minute.
Gotcha. Well, I paused the desktop audio anyway, so.
Then that means there's literally no audio coming from the.
Yeah, I know.
Is there literally no way for us to have it where we can just mute
yes,
Discord?
But you have to go through an audio system for that, and you have to route basically the music, all of our talking, the game. You have to route all of it through that to the stream.
I see.
Oh, thank you. Who are we waiting for? Kina?
Kina and Joel.
Kina
Gotcha.
and Joel.
Yeah, I had to go take doggies out real quick too.
Mm-hmm.
And out.
And we're back, guys.
Hello.
Wait, is Kina here?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I had a cough.
Oh yeah.
So, where we left off was Percy chose to cast Divine Sense to try and get a feeling of the area.
It was a long ritual
Yeah.
cast.
Specifically to Sar.
Tassar?
Yeah, specifically to Sar.
So my understanding of Divine Sense is that you wouldn't be triggered unless it had either like fiendish taint or celestial taint.
Yep.
And or undeadness.
Taint.
Fuck yeah.
That's 100% how Kane would react.
Ooh. I'll say you get a little twinge from Tassar. But not more in the sense of you don't trust him, but it's not clear.
And this is why the art of a handshake is important.
Mm-hmm. But it's only was it a radius or of 60 feet? Within 60 feet of you.
It's within 60 feet.
So the ballroom's pretty ginormous. So you might be able to reach a little bit into the hallways and the exterior of the room. But
If it's sensitive info, you can just whisper it to him, since he's the only one that knows.
Yeah.
I'm just not liking the long silence. This makes me worried.
I think they're
Just
more
do
so trying to figure it
/W
out.
in roll 20, and then start type his name.
Do a test.
Is
Or you
it
could just DM on
/W?
Discord.
Yeah, it's so you do /W space and then start typing Percival, so PER, and it'll show up below, and then you just click on Percival. So
You could always use Discord also.
Oh yeah, that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As a
There you
side
go.
note,
Oh.
I feel like we should do like a Sam Riegel, like, hey guys, while they're whispering, you know, thanks to our sponsor, Nicholas Silva at Niku Senpai on twitch.tv.com. All
Make
of
sure
us
you
mods
join
are
our
here.
Discord.
Our Discord is open and available, and we also have an Instagram and Twitter.
Okay.
can I, as a side note, because Kiki is very leery, can I like sense motive him? Not Percy, but Tassar.
Sense.
What would? Oh wait, sense motive isn't on 5e. I think it's just.
Insight.
Is
It's
it
just roll
insight?
insight.
Yeah, you
It's
can roll an
just-
insight check. Yeah.
Oh, just
Nah.
kidding.
Oh my lord.
I can't get a read.
You can't get a read now.
You're too busy being annoyed at all the decorations.
The decoration, yeah.
At him,
So-
the decorations, at being sold out.
So while Percy's shaking Tessar's hand, you see him just get increasingly uncomfortable.
Oh no.
This
And
whole
his
time,
eyes
they're
just
still,
like widen with the sense of I don't like this.
the whole time they're still shaking hands, like to this moment.
They're still just shaking.
Everybody
just bobbing
else
up
is
and down.
everybody else is uncomfortable because this handshake's gone on for like a minute and a half. We're like,
Like, do these guys know this big
yeah, creepy ass handshake, man.
Yes, yes,
Kina,
yes.
to do identify, I have to be touching the object, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gonna
Please
like
do not
grab his
regret
ears
you
and
touch
use
that.
identify.
No, I would just could well along with that, could I actually just like shake his hand and would I be able to identify anything magical on his like that's touching his skin?
How
Or
long
touching his
is
body?
how long of a
You need to be touching the object.
Oh, okay.
how long, yeah, also how long is this how
Do
long does
people
it take to
count as
cast
objects?
identify?
Well,
Is identify
there's-
you have to
con
be touching directly the object itself.
well is identify
there's-
instant?
I think it takes a minute.
Yeah, so you'd be
But
shaking
there's
his hand for a
verbal
minute.
as well, I believe, with
Yeah.
identify, so he would know you're trying to check him out
Yeah.
for items because
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
thematic and verbal, I believe.
You sure?
It
me check.
would be something. It's not.
I know there's
yeah,
something
anyway.
specific that's weird with Zan's identify, but okay, I won't do it then. I'll just are we kind of doing like pleasantries by this point?
I mean, you can roll insight checks as well,
Hmm.
or perception, to see if there's anything that.
Yeah, identify has a 1 minute casting time.
Okay. I'll since we're doing like pleasantries, I'll walk up, shake his hand, and then while I'm doing that, I'll roll perception to see if there's anything off about him that I can see myself.
Okay.
Oh, not much.
Not a whole lot.
Okay.
I like how after Percival's awkwardly long handshake, everyone immediately got suspicious of Tassar.
Everybody's suspicious,
Just
and
like,
this bitch
something
called me
right
out.
here.
You guys are just
I just
casually both shaking hands for a whole minute. Weird.
Speaking of, Kiki's gonna look kind of disgruntled and be like,
You know, this was fun, but I'm gonna go to the bard quarters now.
and she's just gonna kind of sneer at Tassar and at Vera, and she's just gonna walk out.
Kane's gonna be like the
Percival-
the
Wait, wait,
meeting
I'm gonna join-
the meeting hasn't
and,
finished.
As you approach the doorway, the door is going to be shut and there's a guard blocking your path. Like, no,
Oh.
no,
I
the
don't
meeting has
like
not
this.
concluded. So
I'm sorry. And she face steps out.
Oh.
I was just kind of standing there like, oh, I can't do that.
Nani! We all turn into JoJo characters as a reaction.
I literally just like step through an unseen portal and my body just disappears into the ether.
Oh Jesus.
and where do you
Well then.
reappear?
Outside of the castle, like at the entrance.
How far can you go with that?
Oh wait, hold on.
I'll
Let me
look it
check
up.
face step.
Yeah.
And check that it doesn't have to be a space.
While they're doing that, I while I'm shaking Tasar's hand, I just say, "Lovely place you've got here.
Mhm.
The architecture is impeccable, even for my city standards."
Because I think it acts as Misty Step. So let me search up Misty Step.
Okay, you
Yeah,
look
it's
at
a
that.
misty
Deal
step.
with Zan here. Tassara is gonna look at Zan and quickly take in your garb, and then be immediately curious about your mask. And it's like, oh, yes. Are you from
30 feet.
Everglade?
Yep.
We so rarely have our cousins from Everglade come visit. Oh, this is quite an honor. Like, oh, just please.
Yes,
I hope you're enjoying it here.
it's very nice here. Sorry for these people in my party. They're a little bit shaken about the city itself. It's wonderful.
It's quite
honestly.
stunning, and you see like this very pleased, smug smile spread across his face. And he's like, "Oh yes, I know. We work so hard to make an impression, and for people to enjoy what the city has to offer, and to really appreciate what it used to be, once upon a time." And I was like, "Oh, but this is a really interesting mask. Is this an aesthetic choice, or?"
It's more so a trial that one of my guilds has given for me as part of Ogma's influence there. It's to mask my other senses, to increase the awareness of my surroundings, learn more knowledge about everything through hearing and sight, stuff like that.
Uh-huh. At the mention of the word trial, you see Tassar stiffen a little bit. He gets a wary look on his face, and as you explain your following of Ogma, he leans in and, you wouldn't by any chance favor the Lord of Trials and Tribulations as a patron?
No, it's more so just something they want me to learn in my pursuit of knowledge. But
Huh.
I can see the implications there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You'll see him relax a little bit. It's like, oh, okay. Good. Well, anyone who worships in the name of Ogma is clearly welcome here. Isn't that so, Miss Cleric? Have you met Cleric Erden? And he'll kind of
No, I haven't.
shove you in the direction of the priest.
Oh,
And who will, and take a look at your mask and look you up and down, and his expression will turn to one of a little more interest. And it's like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Erden. You
pleasure.
pleasantries. Anyway,
Kina, it is 30 feet, so she would probably be like out of the room and like heading
well,
away.
it depends which direction you went. So I had everybody kind of meet in the center, and 60 feet is the room is probably about 80 feet in one direction and about 45 feet in another. So
Whatever was the closest like exit for her, she would have gone out.
So yeah, if you were at the to one of the doors, then you could have face stepped into like the hallway.
All right. And I'm gonna make my way down the hall and out of the castle.
Okay. Do you know how to get out? How well were you paying attention?
Oh, probably not at all.
Oh
Should
yeah,
I
because
roll?
you did say we were walking through almost a maze-like hallway.
Oh,
she
yeah,
would
yeah.
remember
Because
that.
I'd say roll
Winston
history
was.
to remember.
Yeah.
Because
What?
Roll an intelligence check.
Oh,
oh god,
Lord have mercy on my soul.
you can do it.
Oh!
Oh, well done, well done.
The anger.
now.
The anger.
I guess while you were so busy judging everything, you remembered where everything was because, like, oh, that terrible.
Yeah, you harshly judged every item around the corner, and now you remember those items.
Yeah.
Ugh, this idiot vase and this ugly lampshade.
That's not even what a minotaur looks like.
Oh my god, do they even know what red caps are? My god!
So
But
I
yeah.
would find that a little bit foreboding to see, like, red caps. Are you talking about, like, the
Yeah, I was
date?
talking about yes. Like it's like just like I don't know, like the help or something. And she's like, that's not even what a red cap looks like.
Oh god.
I think the best part of this is Percy was going to leave with Kiki, and then so he's just standing in front of the door with just like
Yeah, she does that. You get
I'm
used to
stuck.
it. Shall we conclude this meeting so we can all join her then?
Please.
Cassar looked around like, well, part of this meeting was to coordinate where everyone would be sitting and participating in the float. So, Miss Delia, we were hoping that you would be in the one of the lead processions, and then Miss Feyre can escort you all out there. And I did want to personally thank you for your attendance, and I was also hoping that you will bless, our festivities in the name of Shantae. And then he's going to look at Percy, who's trying to sneak out, and I'm like, oh, and please, Percival, what was your last name again?
Amante?
No, this is actually I'm totally blanking on your last name.
Amante.
Amante. Did you introduce yourself as nobility or just the name?
No,
Percival
I
Amante?
simply said my name.
Mr. Amante, please. As you clearly serve Lady Mister, would you also perhaps be willing to give a blessing in her name at the commencement ceremony? Seeing as our lovely city is such a homage to her magical influence.
The dilemma.
Percival, hearing the question of a blessing in Mister's name is tempted, but also knowing parades, he's very hesitant and just simply goes, "Will I have to join you for the festivities before the blessing?"
You mean the procession? You do not wish to partake in the procession? Well, let's review our calendar of events here. So, Mistress Vera is finalizing the parade preparations. We will make the procession down from the palace through the main avenue towards the main square. There will be we'll do a full circuit around the shrines and come to a halt in front of the fairgrounds, and then I will be, of course, giving my opening ceremony speech, and it is at the point that we would like you to deliver a prayer in Mistra's name on our behalf, as Adelia will be leading for Shantae, and I myself will be enlisting the grace of Lyra, the goddess Lyra, and the head of the Bards College, who could not attend with us right now because he's busy dealing with things down below, will be singing a hymn for the goddess Lyra, because you cannot start a party without Lyra's approval. It's sort of a rule. And then I believe Cleric Erden will do a message on behalf of Ogma, and I believe, and he looks at Mrs. Drave. This is all the deities we need to cover. Yes, I believe. And you'll see Cleric Erden step forward. He's like, well, we would like to give a quick shout out, you could say, to the Seldarine should have their homage paid, and Tassar Lorith will almost flush a little bit, like, oh, how could he have forgotten the Seldarine, which are only like the elven pantheon. Yes.
While all this is being said, Kane is just gonna slowly like walk backward. Like, how the fuck did I get stuck in this awkward ass situation? And he's just gonna inch slowly closer to like any door he can find so he can like slip out.
Oh, you mean all of the closed doors?
No, the closed guarded doors. Yes, and Burgess will chuckle. Is like, well, I've got 12 pure white horses at your beck and call. I've already had my lads take them up. They should be in the courtyard. Now, if you like, if any of you are participating in the procession, I can find a horse or two if you would prefer to ride the finest beasts in these parts, or if you prefer to ride in one of the floats, we can coordinate there.
I'm afraid.
So, DM check out of character, but who all here out of the 7 are actually interested in participating in the procession besides Delia, because that's just going to happen.
Can I roll to like stealth out of the room? Like the guard's looking forward, but I'm just gonna like kind of like against the wall, crunk like against the wall, just like
slither away.
Yeah, just like
you're just
I'm
gonna
a
watch
snake.
Skyrim crouch your way to the door.
Yeah, exactly. Must have been the wind. I'll be like,
stuck into the wall, and we're just fine. Kane face plants into the wall. That didn't work.
That didn't work. Yeah, like, can I stealth check? To get out of this.
I think that's a no. You can roll with disadvantage.
Roll with disadvantage. Oh no. Alright.
I mean, it's not exactly.
Oh my god. No. I just like hit the back of the wall. I'm like, oh shit, this is a wall, not a door.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, some of the doors are decorated to look as if they're part of the wall, so that when they're closed, they don't,
I want to get out of this town now. That's creepy.
I will see Kane trying to sneak out, and I'm gonna go over towards him, and like to the guard that's guarding the door. I'm going to, just under my breath, cast prestidigitation and dirty all of his clothes.
Whose clothes?
The guard.
The guard that's guarding the door that Kane's trying to get out of. And walk up to him, and I'll grab I'll have like a bit of cloth or something, and I'll be like, "Oh, you seem to have dirtied yourself here," and I'll turn him away from the door and try to pretend I'm helping him clean himself up, so Kane can maybe get the fuck out. Because I can see he no want to be here.
So you're trying to convince the guard who's suddenly dirty that he needs to go to clean up?
No, I'm helping him clean up. I'm going to turn him away from the door and be like, you can't let them see you like this.
Like he's just got mud all over his armor now. He's just like, what the hell?
You've obviously eaten something and it's dropped on you. You haven't noticed it.
You are going to feel something grab your arm and gently tug you away.
Hmm? Okay.
What?
Yes.
That was being kidnapped.
Zan obviously sees this, right?
You're busy talking to the dude.
He's Val reacting, but he doesn't see what's holding her hand, or their hand, arm.
Wait.
Appendage.
Is it Mage Hand that did?
You don't know. You don't know. You're talking to the priest. This is all happening while you guys are all conversing.
You were talking to the priest. Val, behind your back, was following Kane, trying to sneak out. Tassar was talking with Percy. Mistress Vera was next to Delia with the yappy dog, Chushu. And Burgess
is Tassar really talking to Percy? He's kind of just talking at Percy.
Well, and trying to engage with Percy.
Well, by that point, he would have heard Val, so he would have turned around to look at them.
I mean, this is all very hushed tones.
This is all very in a sequence of just keeping it as quiet as possible. And like,
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have heard me like tap against the wall by mistake. Like I'm because the room is big, so I'm already there. I'm just like at the end of the wall. I'm like, shit, this is a wall.
Did you thud hard on the wall, or did you just kind of like?
Well, no,
nudge
I
against
thought it was a
like,
door
oh.
because Kina said some of the walls are decorated and designed to look like doors. So I was like going towards the door, and then I just hit a wall. Like it's not an actual opening. There's no actual knobs or anything, and I'm just like, this is creepy as shit. And like, I'm like,
something grabbed me.
like imagine just me like behind my back rubbing against the grain of the like wall, just like, where's the doorknob?
Trying to find the
at?
edge so they
Where's the
can open it.
doorknob at?
Then I'll wait for Val's response, and then I'll.
Yeah, so Val had dirtied the guard and was trying to clean it up. Is my
Yeah,
understanding?
so it's just like made it look like he maybe spilled some food on himself and was gonna be like,
Uh-huh.
hey, look, you've obviously not noticed this. Here, I'll help you clean it up a bit. Don't want to
Yeah.
see you like this. And then something grabbed me.
And something grabbed you. Yes, and you can't see anything. You feel something grab you and gently tug you away. And the guard's just looking at you like, what were you doing, kid?
He's still dirty.
Okay.
So yes.
Does
I will shoot Kane a look.
does Kane see this? Like he's like, what the fuck is grabbing that child?
That's a good question. You have true sight, right? But I
Mhm.
think this is something that is innately invisible, so I don't think you'd see it even with true sight.
True sight can see
I
invisibility.
can see invisible items or objects or things. Let's see.
Hold on, I gotta check something real quick.
I mean, just make a DM decision.
A creature with true sight can see out of a specific range, see in normal and magical darkness, see invisible creatures or objects, automatically detect visual illusions and succeed on saving throws against them. So unless they're 60 feet away from me, then I can't see it.
So
You-
there
you
are
can't-
some
you-
items that are invisible, but they're from like the ethereal plane or whatever. So things that can see invisibility don't see those things. There's a couple things that are free from the see invisibility laws.
Up to Kino.
Yeah, you can't see it.
Okay.
You can't.
So I just
detect
see this
anything.
small child being dragged away from me.
Yeah, you can see the effect of like their arm away from their body and then
Uh-huh.
them moving. Like, I mean, I'm assuming that Val's expression is one of like, what?
It's the Val stress.
Is the guard, is it like, is she being, or are they being dragged away from the guard? Or
Yes, they're being pulled away from the guard.
They're probably not like being dragged to like be put into another room. They're just kind of being backed off from the guard.
Correct.
okay.
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 It's like a dog that's like trying to get into something and you just kind of like drag them away with your foot, and the dog just what?
While this is happening, I guess.
So you get moved. Val gets moved away from the guard.
Mhm.
Felt something, grab you and move you.
It
You
wait,
will
but
feel
did it
a
let
real-
go?
It's letting go now.
Okay. While that's happening and the guard is looking at Val, I'm gonna roll to try and get out of this itch. Since he's distracted now.
You trying to roll stealth again?
Yeah, sure.
All right, go ahead. Regular roll.
11.
Oh my god.
I get out a little bit.
Yeah, you move closer without being noticed. But then the guard totally side eyes you. Like,
I'm just gonna
Your
be like,
hand is on the handle and it just goes.
I'm like, why of all times? Why of all times? I thought you were supposed to be a young castle.
young castle. Yeah. So the guard's just gonna look at you with a warning.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna pull up my coin pouch and point to it.
Oh my god.
And then I'm gonna like wink wink with my like eyebrows, just like raise them up and down, just like, huh?
You waggle your
Huh?
eyebrows at the guard.
Yeah, like coin? Huh?
The face they posted in the chat.
The guard's gonna look at you, kind of funny, and then he's gonna look over at Tazar Loriath, and ask, "Sir, would you like us to open the doors?" And Tazar Loriath will look around, kind of take stock, and be like, "Yes, sure. Miss Delia, you will go with Mistress Vera, please, to prepare. And Mr. Amante, you do not wish to participate in the procession, and I understand. So, could we count on you to give your blessing at the commencement ceremony?
Ah, yes. You can count on my blessing. Just not
Excellent.
procession.
Excellent. And then let's see, who else do we need to do? So we'll look at Zan and Val. Zan, you're talking with Cleric Erden.
Yeah, I probably would have tuned out by this point and started turning around because I didn't want to talk to the dude right now. I just kind of like got shoved over to him.
To Erden. He's going to clap you on the shoulder and say, it's wonderful to see someone who venerates our god. Please make your way to the library sometime if you like. We'd be more than happy to.
Yes, I've already been there, but I plan to make another visit again.
Oh, you have been. Excellent. Yes. Well, I hope to see you there, and please don't be shy about, perhaps leaving a small alm in prayer.
Quite. Thank you.
And the priest will turn around and just start walking off. He doesn't have much to do here. Mistress Vera is going to put her arms around, well, one of her arms, the other arm still holding the squirming yappy dog, and start ushering Delia out towards the courtyard. So you guys had come in kind of opposite sides, and she'd come in through a door that was near the big windows that overlook like a garden area. And so she's gonna lead you outside to the parade staging area. Burgess is also going to follow in that direction, as he's in charge of all the horsey stuff. And yeah. You guys are Val and Kane and Percival are free to go. And
Saberna's still with us.
I'm gonna wave at Val to like leave.
Wyndon is also with Delia.
Yeah, as Kiki like faced up, he was like, I can't do that. And he's watching Kane and Val and Zan kind of like do what they're doing, like this party. We are so awkward, and these are bad people. My life just keeps getting better and better. I'm going to associate with the next best person here, and just steps next to Delia and kind of pays attention to what's going on with everything. And it's like, you know what? They all do not want part of this parade for some reason. I will go ahead and be part of it as long as I can wear my elf ears.
Okay. So Kane and Val and Zan, where do you guys want to go?
I'm leaving the castle. I'm probably like waving at Val after that creepy hand shit. I'm gonna be like, oh, let's
so
get the
are
fuck
you
out of this place.
are you going to?
I'm gonna fucking haul ass. I don't know what grabbed me, but I'm out there.
Yeah, I'm following them. I'm following right behind them.
So you guys are gonna make your way towards out of the palace, and are you gonna head down back to the main square? Is that your intent?
Yeah, kind of towards the main square.
If we were walking through the castle unattended as well, is there anything worth stealing?
Yeah, I was gonna plan on maybe stealing a couple fancy objects or so.
I mean, are you really gonna try and steal something when something you couldn't see just grabbed you?
Yes.
Yeah. If my sleight of hand is high enough.
Well, you do have a bag of holding with some limited capacity, and you would pass. A lot of the stuff would would be large and awkward for you because most of the decor items that are on display are like vases and figurines and statuettes and like chandeliers and stuff. So and there are guards. So
this might be a weird question, but would Zan might have maybe some sort of like idea of maybe it's like a supermarket where if you try and leave with an item, there's maybe like alarms that go off if they try and leave, kind of similar to like the alarm spell.
I mean, you have every reason to suspect something like that, yeah, because you know you're in a big enchanted castle, and there's clearly a lot of magic at play, and clearly a lot of, at least as far as you can perceive, valuable items. So they must protect it somehow.
I'll lean down to Val. I'm serious. Be careful. These could be enchanted to alarm if we leave with anything.
They're all too big anyway. Ah.
Yeah, there's
I'll
nothing that's
stomp out of the castle.
Yeah. If there's like no like nice jewels or something we could possibly steal, then there's probably nothing really worth trying to. Not trying to shove a whole vase into a bag of holding
Right.
as I'm walking out, like, huh?
Yeah, I mean, unless your thing is like, you know, ripping off Pier 1 imports, like.
You lost me 100%.
I'm not into antique. What is this?
What is this awkward shit? Nah, I'll probably leave with
I'll
alongside.
pass. I'm gonna stomp out of the castle. They're like fucking waste of time.
There's a question for DM. Never mind. Actually, you never brought it up. Never mind. I was gonna ask if Mr. Burgess lives at the Wellmont Inn, or does he live
Yes.
at another home? Okay.
No,
Okay.
that's his abode.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
for
So
that.
the Wellmont Inn and Stables is again it's the hoity-toity inn. So it has the plushiest appointments, and also houses the super fancy performing horses. Now it may or may not be true, but they at least like to encourage the rumor that these horses are actually descended from unicorns. So they are extremely elegant and intelligent horses.
You call this a unicorn?
I didn't say they were unicorns.
I know.
But they're just really beautiful horses,
Okay.
and they're also extraordinarily well trained. And so these are not the type of horses that you would necessarily do. You wouldn't do a rodeo with these horses. You wouldn't do. These are the kind of horses that you'd see doing like show jumping competition, dressage, and
Those racing horses.
but not really racing. Not their standard lap race.
Well bred.
They're show
They're
They're
ponies.
kind of like a dog
They're
show.
show ponies. They're really show ponies.
So they go for a lot in the market.
Oh, they are worth a lot.
Cade, are you gonna try and steal a horse?
Huh. Who said I'm stopping at one?
Oh god.
A herd of ponies.
Damn. Owner
yeah.
of the Wellmont Inn and Stables.
Yeah, I just steal the property from underneath him.
Well, you know, maybe he has a daughter you can woo and wed and
Ooh,
marry into the family.
Ah,
saying.
wedding.
Commitment? No, thank you.
No, thank you. You lost me. Damn it.
Puppies.
So we were just heading back into town then.
Okay, so you guys will head into town. Kiki, I presume you headed down. I know that you really want to go to the Bard Quarter, but are you going to wait for Sib?
I'm going straight there because I am not happy.
Furious.
She's not furious. Otherwise, you would be able to tell.
She's disgruntled.
I'm disgruntled, so I went straight to the Bard Quarters. I'm pretty sure everyone knows where I would be going. I'm probably like going to the Bard Quarters to look for instruments or to perform or whatever happens.
She's like, I gotta sing this out.
A slam jam, poetry jam.
Okay. Then I'm gonna temporarily pass over to Delia. You, like I said, we're being escorted to the parade grounds, or not the staging area. So you're gonna see a bunch of people working on these floats, getting them ready, getting them moved into the correct positioning. And Mistress Feyre will usher you towards the front float, and it's this giant, almost like what's the word? It's made out of hay, but hay bundles that have been put together almost like a pinata. So it's like.
Birmingham.
Quick
Yeah.
question.
Where'd
Percy go?
I thought you went with you followed
No.
with okay, well what do you want to do? Do you want to follow with Kane and Val and them, or do you want to follow Delia? Or basically there's a group of people that are going just out of the palace down to the main square. Yeah, Kiki went to the Bard Quarter.
Yeah, I think
you guys
Percy's
know
just
that.
gonna go over to the Bard quarters on his own.
Wandered the Bard Quarter. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just. Where's my thingy? All right.
I just enjoyed the mental image of just everyone leaving Percival behind in the big room and him just going.
Can you not place in our
Get all drink?
Fine. I guess I can do that too. Where are you guys? The only thing is that it'll snap really large on the map. So.
Yeah.
Is there no way to shrink them?
No.
Well,
they
not for this map size.
If there is, I'm not sure.
Okay.
And Bella Kane.
Do what you want.
And roughly this area. Delia.
Sib.
Yes.
Who am I missing?
Sib. Sib is with Delia.
Sib is Delia.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Delia and Sib. So this float thing, it's basically an extra long wagon. Most of it has been converted into this weird straw cornucopia design. The straw has been painted and colored and stuff, and there are like waving flags and a really nice seating area in the front, and it's being driven by 6 beautiful white horses, probably courtesy of Mr. Burgess. And that's where Mistress Vera indicates that you will be seated for the parade. And in there's like these barrels of little goodies. So like things that you can throw out to the crowd. So there's some small copper pieces. There's little wrapped sweets, some like confetti type stuff, and just fun little things that you can throw out to the crowd when you go past. And then Mistress Vera looks at Saberna, because she really is a guest of honor, but she's not sure what you do. So, can you guys hear me? Okay, my
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, cut out a little bit, but you're fine.
Yeah, Discord connection issue. And I mean, there's still a bunch of people working on this stuff. Like there are floats with like dancers in elaborate costumes that are practicing their positioning on the platform, so that they know their cues. There's bards that are strumming their instruments and tuning them and doing some practice passages of whatever music that they're going to do. There are people like still hauling carts into position. It's definitely a flurry of activity. And Mistress Vey returns to Saberna and asks, "Now, are you? What is it do, sir? What are you here for?
I look good for a living. I joke. I am actually here just traveling with my companion. I do apologize for her behavior. She is a little eccentric at times, but that goes with the territory of being a bard, I assume. Specifically
talking-
one of her color. Excuse me?
Do you mean Kiki or Delia?
Yes, I mean Kiki.
Kiki, yeah.
You're not with Kiki, you're with Delia.
No, I know, I'm with Delia.
Oh.
I'm talking about...
Apologize.
He's apologizing for me.
Oh, okay. I was like,
So I pieced the fuck out.
And what I do is I am actually her handler as far as a freelance bard manager. So basically, I am what your city does, just on a much smaller scale. I must say larger. on a much smaller.
A much larger scale.
So you're a talent manager.
In a manner of speaking, yes, I am very.
Oh yes, you
well
know
versed in
your companion. She's so striking. We so rarely get a Ladrin here, and you said she. So you're the one I would speak to if we wanted to schedule a performance. Like, what is her primary?
a little
act?
bit of song, a little bit of dance. She's very good at making people feel uncomfortable, but
Thank you.
she is very good for singing. Her voice is second to none, I would say, in the greater parts of Nanya. Even in the Vanak Dominion, she is definitely over most of the bards there. And you would speak to me first, but I will have to confer with her. Even though I am her manager, she still has total control over what she does. I am just the one that actually gets her jobs, because she is more about the actual acting and singing part of it, and really has not a lot of talent for getting her own work. I'm much better at that.
Excellent. So, do you think she would be interested in performing?
Currently, unfortunately, as I do say, she is eccentric right now. She is probably in one of her moods, but I'm quite adept at getting her out of that. So maybe after a little bit of conferring with my companion, I could probably convince her to help this parade, and maybe put her out on loan for you.
Oh, okay. And Wyndon will chime in, who followed you, by the way. It's like, well, I did and I did mention that she could register with the college if she wished to perform, and Mr. Svera nods, and it's like, oh, well, we would be quite honored to have her. She would add quite a lot to the festivity, I think. She's so stunning. Like, you guys, quite remarkable with that beautiful pink hair.
I totally think she would agree. She could add a lot to this place. Her talents are quite spectacular. I do also feel the same, that it would be a happy match. I just have to make sure that she is up for the task. As I said, she is quite in her own mind about what she does, and I'm the one who has to kind of pick up the pieces that she drops. So give me a moment to go and confer with her for a little bit, and we will see what we can do for the coming festivities.
Well, after the meeting's been over an hour. It's probably been about an hour and a half since you guys had the pie and left Mary's Bake Shop. And it'll take you a good 15-20 minutes jaunt back down to the main square. If you like, it's around 1-ish in the afternoon now, and the parade is scheduled to start at 3 p.m. So you do have a little bit of time if you change your mind, if you would like to perhaps join us in the main float here, or in any other way participate. But sooner the better. Perhaps you can change.
Of course. You know what? Just to make matters more simple, I will go ahead and mark us down for a yes. There's a slight chance of rain, just a very minor slight chance of rain. But otherwise, mark us down for a yes for this.
Okay.
And I will ensure that we do have her ready for production as soon as the festivities start. She's good at ad-libbing a bunch of stuff, and I'm sure she will be out of her mood as soon as she sees that we are all happy and smiling and awaiting her beautiful singing voice.
So what she's going to do is point at the float that Delia is going to sing. It's like, I believe we will save you 2 spots then, that you can participate here. It's really a shame that the Paladin of Mistra would not be joining us, because having 2 paladins lead the procession, that would have been quite something, I think. That's really unfortunate. But he will be participating in the commencement ceremony, and she can see that she's kind of talking to herself as she thinks out loud, and is surveying the goings on. And then her dog, true to self, Shoo Shoo, starts barking and yipping and struggling to get out of her arms again, and you see her trying to hold the little dog back. And it's like, oh, pardon, I think I'd better go see what is going on over here. So please, if you could make it back here at least half an hour before the commencement, so about 2:30.
Of course, it will be 29 minutes and no longer.
Okay. And then Miss Delia, you know where your queue is. You just have some free time. If you wish, you may hang out here, or just showtime. I need you at this spot by 2:30 as well. So now you two are free to decide what you want to do.
DM.
Thank you for your time.
Yes.
I 100% kept Winston's hat.
Wyndon's hat. Yeah, no, poor Wyndon.
That is in my bag of holding. I now have a hat to my inventory. Thank you.
Okay, so after the meeting convenes with the ceremony officer and Delia and everybody else, I do a little bow and all that as an elf would, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
And I do walk out and make a brisk walk towards the Bard Quarter.
Okie dokie. And Delia?
Did I notice like which direction Percy was going? Like when he left?
You would have seen them leave the room. That's all you would have known.
I guess that's all I would have known. I'm gonna go ahead and go because I want this to be a smashing success. So I'm gonna go try to find Percy and see if I can convince him to do the thing.
Oh no! Put a World War vet on a on a parade float where he has PTSD.
Delia doesn't know anything.
Tell you what, you get to fire the cannon.
We got birds too. No.
Yeah. So something of note though is that not all of them, but quite a few of the parade floats are constructed of straw, and they've been arranged in like elaborate designs. For instance, that there is the straw cornucopia that Delia will be riding in.
I fully expect that I'm going to be set on fire.
Yeah, this fall maiden.
I fully expect to be set on fire.
Along with that, I'm guessing fireworks wouldn't be allowed.
Fireworks would not be allowed?
Oh, with straw.
Is that the question? No. Actually, so here's a rundown. Harvest Festival Parade. The parade starts at 3 p.m. and it will wind its way down the hill slowly, and do that little circle around the main square, because there's that fountain shrine area in the center. There'll be like a little circle around there, and then they're going to park it in front of the fairgrounds. The commencement ceremony with the blessings and everything is scheduled to start at 3:45.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have at 4 p.m. the torch lighting ceremony, and it starts getting dark then, so that's when all the night lights start coming out, so all the lighting for the evening gets lit up. 5 p.m. is the bonfire dancing. 7 p.m. is essentially a fireworks display. It's a magical light display, just like you would see at Disneyland. And then it's pretty much just party on. There will be open dancing and food available, and general festivities in the main square and fairgrounds, and then of course there will also be entertainments in the Bard Quarter as desired. But most people are expected to be in the main square for all that.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Excellent.
Now I don't want to be some nerd and go back to the library, but
No.
Val and I both nudge shoulders like nerd. What are you gonna do? Go spell your
I'll-
little magic spells? Nah, nerd.
It's like Val and Kane are in the library reading a book as they're calling him a nerd when he's walking in. But you guys are here.
Yeah, but we're not here for nerdy
Um,
reasons.
I'll just kind of converse with Val and see what they want to do.
I'm happy to go to the library.
Fair enough. So we'll both go to the library and what was his name? Erden. He's not there, is he? Like he wouldn't have head back to the library, or would he?
He would be heading back to the library. In fact, you might even see him on his way.
Okay,
If you want to roll a perception check, see if you can find him.
Okay.
Meh.
Meh.
Somebody's there. I don't know if it's him. They're all wearing like these gowns. It's hard to discern. But no, I'll head in the library. And I'll just kind of keep. I won't do the detect magic again because that failed. But I'll look through like maybe the different sections of the library and maybe pull out a book about maybe the city's perception of Everglade, and maybe a book about I don't know if do they have like any sort of like forbidden section or a section that's maybe like locked off that maybe
Books that
might
you
have
open
some
and a face screams at you.
yeah like that. Or is everything pretty open?
Quite a bit is opened, but yes, there are sections that require an escort from one of the priests, so that you can look
Okay.
at it, but for varying reasons, they require direct oversight. So,
Okay. Are there any books that are available that might pertain to witchcraft or dark magic, or is that mainly excluded to the forbidden section?
you would find in the open section more accountings of dark magic, like stories of things that have happened. You would find especially historical references for anything that may have had impact to the city at large. For instance, like you'd read that small snippet about how Quen'Yalar had basically fallen with the activities of the cult of Tolona.
Okay.
You would find some like home remedies to deal with curses and poisons and
He's probably not going to get much out of that book. It's probably more like snake oil type stories, but he'll take a look at it. But while I'm scanning, would have Erden probably popped in by this point?
yes, you could say that Erden is there.
Okay.
There are less than a dozen total priests, so
Yeah, he's just the one that stands out the most and has the most interest in me, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I want to walk up to him and just talk to him for a minute. Excuse me, Odin. I wanted to ask you a question, but I had asked one of the bookkeepers here before if I could possibly bring one of the books outside of the library, but they had not allowed me. But I wanted to try and get to some of the other festivities today. But I wanted to bring one of the books with me so I can study while I enjoy everything, as part of my pursuit of knowledge for Ogma. With your allowance, would you let me bring out just one or two books along my surveying of the city, just for maybe an hour or so?
Erden seems pleased that you're interested in the books, but he also has a somewhat dour expression that, as much as I would like to allow you to do so, many of these books that are here are magically preserved, and I just really can't risk them leaving here. They're part of a very important collection. By all means, the knowledge is free to you, but the object is not. So,
Okay.
options include you're more than welcome, of course, to stay and read it. You may also for a small alms, have one of our scribes essentially make you a copy
Oh,
of selected materials. But the original item must remain here.
okay. And we're free to take the copies with us outside the
Yes,
city,
the
however
copies
we
would
want.
be yours.
Okay. How much is it?
It depends on the book and the level of writing.
Okay,
So,
so
are you looking for like a small chapter, a few selections, an entire book? Some of the books we even have multiples of, depending on what you're looking for. But most of the time, those are popular stories and less so much the more technical knowledge and historical bits. So,
I'll just maybe ask them to see if I could possibly get a copy of maybe any historical books about Everglade that they have on them. Maybe just like a couple of significant chapters that I would have maybe pointed out to them, as well as if they allow me to get a copy of one of the books from the Forbidden section, then I would do that as well, depending on the price.
okay. We do have a compendium of history. It pretty much covers the entire timeline. That is a very common book in our library, so that is available for 5 gold. That just a copy of that book. It is a compendium that we scholars of Ogma have compiled through our studies of everything here. So that's
common? Is it common enough of a book that maybe even Zan City would probably have already had, or like maybe other cities around would have, or is it something they would specifically have? Okay.
It's definitely something. It's a scholarly book from the priesthood of Ogma, so it's one of those things that gets passed around between the different orders. So it's not something you might not have. It's something you could encounter elsewhere, but you could also have your own copy.
Are most of the libraries in some of the major cities run by patrons of Ogma?
Yeah. I'd say most libraries are run by priests of Ogma.
Okay, then I won't worry about that. But maybe, if I could possibly get a copy, if I could possibly get a copy of 1 or 2 chapters of a book about witchcraft or dark magic. It's part of my knowledge expedition about curses and remedies against severe ones as well.
Oh, that definitely gets his attention, and you see him kind of mull on it, and it's like, there are several passages that might be of interest. I will come back before you depart the city, and I will have a selection of books I think might help you on that topic, and they will be ready for you. So you, by all means, enjoy the festivities, and you will have the book with you.
Okay, so just the books available, not necessarily like copies of the book.
Yes. So he will have the books available, and you can peruse them, see which ones are interest to you, and or you could just preemptively ask for copies to take on your own.
Okay. How much would it be for like maybe 1 or 2 chapters from like maybe a couple books?
I'd say 5 gold.
Man, I'll do it. All right.
Okay. Would you? Is that Shushu?
Yes.
They followed us here.
Okay. So
He doesn't like the
you
quiet.
don't have to pay. You don't have to pay right now. The if you'd like to make a small donation and say a prayer to Ogma on our behalf, and he indicates a small altar for you, and then I will compile, I think, what may be of most interest to you, and then when you're ready to depart, we can go over your options once again.
Okay. Zan reluctantly looks at the altar since, at least specifically with his guild, he doesn't necessarily worship gods. He just is aware of them. But he'll, for the sake of them, he'll kneel down and pray for a couple minutes and then depart with Val.
So while Zam was doing all of this, 2 quick questions. One is, are there just parchments and paper available to make notes about books or anything like that?
Yes, you may ask
Oh.
any of the attendants to have pen and paper to make your own notes.
Yep, I would have done that, and I would have asked for a book about maps on the area,
Okay.
if that is available at all.
How are you just gonna make some written notes, or are you actually trying to copy some maps?
I'll make some little bootleg maps. They're the roughest, shittiest thing Val has ever drawn. They hate themselves for it, but it's enough information to get by.
Good enough. Did you also do that with a couple books that Zan was interested in?
No.
Or no? Okay, just maps.
Just maps.
Okay,
So just
fair enough.
all right. So let's just say that there's a giant book. It's an atlas book.
Hey.
So there are a bunch of maps and stuff available in there. And that one has an attendant next to it, and they will gladly make space for you to write down your notes. And
So yeah, I just probably a couple maps for the local area, nothing too far out, just stuff that's within
stuff that's
a couple days distance.
travel.
Yeah.
Okay. It's mostly some townships. This is the biggest city in a few days travel. So you'll see a few townships. All right, let me pull up my map again. Wah, wah, wah.
I was gonna say, just so it's because obviously we have the map, but we don't have it in game.
Mhm.
So this is my way of being we now have part of the map in game.
Val wouldn't have had one already?
Val has a local map for a town that they grew up in, which I
have the area map for where I have.
you, but I just need to finish labeling.
Cool.
And so do you want some general big? Are you trying to do a real a world map quick draw? Or
Literally just the little local area as much as I possibly could. Just again, stuff that was be within a couple days travel at most.
Just a couple days travel. Okay. Well, Quen'Yalar is the biggest thing around.
And this wouldn't be as big of enough radius to get to Everglade. This is literally just maybe a good chunk of the landscape around Quen'Yalar.
Yeah, so around Quen'Yalar, you've got mainly farming villages. You don't.
So
there's
nothing available on the actual world.
Player point of order here, and move things on from
Yeah,
this map.
again, I don't
Sorry.
need all the information. They basically said listen, Val's gonna make these notes so that we have them for if we move and we're shit, where are we? So you can get those to me later. I just wanted to be we have them.
I just want to make sure I knew which thing you're looking for. So okay, just stuff around Quen'Yalar, local stuff. Okay.
I'll send you a DM for stuff. So that's all good. Moving on.
I just have one quick question about the marketplaces. Are they mainly for tourist related stuff, so a gift shop and food, or do they also have maybe more regular stuff like a blacksmith or stuff like that isn't part of the decor?
Yeah, no, that's actually there's definitely a blacksmith and stuff like that. They have it feels like a big city, any kind of bazaar that you would find, or there's still a crafting section. They still function like a city in a lot of ways. So yes, there's a blacksmith, there's a butcher shop, there's all that kind of stuff. But most of the stuff in the markets is more tourist oriented. And there's also shops in West Quen for your more day-to-day stuff.
Is there anything specific, maybe more specific, like a Fletcher?
Yes, there would be an elven Fletcher. So that's the other thing too, is that the stuff in East and West Quen are more modern day.
I see.
And those are the towns that house the guests that come through, but also the people who live and work in Quen'Yalar. And aside from the Bard Quarter, most people, the people that work there, either live in West or East Gwen town.
Fair enough. Maybe I'll stop. I'll probably worry
Yeah,
about
but
that
those
later
those
then.
places would have like your typical supplies. Anything that's in Quen'Yalar would also have a
But if I
it
was
would be
interested
very
in buying
elven.
any-
It'd be elven centric. So like they would have a blacksmith, but they specialize in only elven techniques or elven.
and it would be like Disney where they jack up the price.
Yes.
Okay. All right then. I won't worry about that for now.
Anywho.
Okay. Do you just want to say that you guys were exploring the Bard's quarters and just having some entertainments? Do you want to actually pursue that, or do we want to move things along to the parade?
We can move things around, but I believe that Delia and Saberna were trying to find Percy and Kiki to.
That's true. You were trying to convince
persuade
that.
them.
So I'm certain that Kiki went to the Bard Quarter, and if I remember correctly, Percy was locked arm in arm with Kiki before she faced up. So I'm assuming they would be around the same direction. If not, they would be around the market or main square. I'm going to usher Delia as to move with me, as it like gesturing. Let's go out of the palace and move down to the Bard Quarter and try to find our people.
Oh, puppies.
So I would probably be wandering the Bard Quarter. I'm not sure what the main area would be, but if there's like a main like garden rotunda area, Kiki would probably be strumming on her harp guitar in the middle of it.
Saber's just walking through the Bard Quarter going, oh!
Kiki's like, oh! Okay, so from the map in Quen'Yalar, you see where it says Bard Quarter. Like there's a big open area.
Kiki's gonna be in the center.
How many pink elder ladrons do you think they have in the city, Delia? This will be easier than we think.
I mean, there might be one or two. There might be. So, yeah, Kiki stands out. All right, so you're strumming. Kiki's strumming in the center area of the Bard Quarter.
I probably would have been like idly playing my music and complaining to Percival about this shitty town. The town that I was so excited for and now has just dashed my hopes and dreams.
So
Percival likely took out some of the pie he bought. There's still
just munching on pie.
Yeah, just eating some pie while he listens to Kiki.
As you guys are loitering, there's definitely different pockets of crowds at different performing stages. So you're hearing, like, I know that this doesn't really show it. Give me a second. But there's lots of little activities going on. There's lots of people laughing. There's some like cafe type things. There's a place in the corner where it's clearly like a dinner theater place. So you have a small stage and people are eating and watching while some people are performing on stage doing what they mean to be as a dramatic performance, but is pretty much coming across as very cheesy, melodramatic. And there's jugglers and dancers spread around you guys. Lots of different entertainment activities. And but while you're just kind of hanging out and playing your music, a small gaggle of children starts forming around you. And you see this little girl with her little elf ears and her sweet little gingham dress, just like staring at Kiki with like the biggest puppy eyes, just like in awe. Because Kiki, you're pretty striking. You stand out with your pink hair and your elfiness and your music. So you're getting a little bit of a crowd of curious youngsters.
Nice.
A whole gaggle of them.
Whole gaggle.
Now you just take them and you sell them. Wait, what?
What?
God damn it.
They need to mature more. Everyone knows that.
No, I'm kidding.
By the way, I know everybody's split off. Kane's just sitting like right at the market on a table reading his little novel and drinking more wine. That's it. That is all he's doing.
And Fallen even like chimes in on that.
So yeah, I'm assuming that Saberna and Delia have approached me at this point.
Ah, Celsius. See, what did I tell you, Delia? Easier than we thought.
I
Oh, hi guys.
How is this stupid castle?
It, well, it was a castle. It certainly was.
It could hardly be classified as a castle.
No, Kiki.
Oh, don't you know Kiki me?
No, come now, come. So I actually have work for you. Hopefully paid for. Didn't ask about that.
What are you suggesting?
Well, basically, we are going to show up this entire city by showing off your bard skills, and they will cry and weep and probably slit their own throats.
Nope.
Because you're just so much better than this. You're doing it.
No.
Yes.
I don't think so.
You're already doing it.
You're doing it right now. You don't even realize it.
Exactly.
Yes, but this is for myself. I'm not doing it for that person.
But wouldn't it be just amazing to make all of them in awe from how wonderful you are? And
No.
since they would listen to your words and probably
Nope.
makes that castle not so shit.
No, they don't deserve it.
Would you do it for me?
No.
Cold.
Because you would know that you wouldn't want me to do something I don't want to do. Or you wouldn't make me uncomfortable, would you, Saberna?
So you know that
Roll
10%
intimidation.
chance of rain. Tut tut, it looks like rain, I guess.
Saberna, you wouldn't force me to do anything I wouldn't be willing to do, would you?
No, of course not.
Well, there you have it.
I'm afraid that I don't know you very well, but being a bard, I might wonder if bringing joy to other people is what makes you happy. And don't think about it as doing it for those people who are asking you, but just look at all the children around and think how many other people who will see you, who you'd bring joy to.
Cue the super cute kids just staring at you like.
I think that's like a persuasion
Oh.
check.
Persuasion against like a charisma check. A charisma save.
It's like in earnest, Delia really does just very honestly want this to be like a smashing good time for everyone in attendance.
Can I assist Delia in this as well? With like my own additive to it?
Sure. I mean, you're also imploring her to do the same thing.
You're right. Don't think about it in the ways that I was presenting it. Do definitely think as you're bringing happiness and joy to these children, and even your new friend here, Delia. I'm sure it brings them great joy as well.
Kiki's friendly, but she's not willing at the moment. So I'm assuming I'd roll charisma save against whatever you guys roll for persuasive.
Okay, let me see if I can even roll. Like my internet, my internet is straight
But
down
you're an
right
assist,
now.
so.
My internet is straight down, so let me like vanilla roll real quickly. Give me a second. I'm on my phone right now. Sorry. Or actually,
yeah, I can roll for
Chops,
you. What's
Chops, just roll me a d20.
Or you could
And
just
then
Chops could roll with advantage.
Ugh.
Or add 6 with my persuasion.
11.
So 11.
11 plus my
Well, you
assist
get
of 23.
But you don't get the full 23 for an
No.
assist, you nincompoop.
It would probably be like a 10, like what I actually just rolled. So it would be a 21 total. But that is up to the DM's discretion.
I thought assists were usually like a +2.
Or you should just get advantage on it if you're rolling with an assist.
If somebody assists you, you usually just roll with advantage.
Okay, well as long as my roll counts for more than a 2, we win.
I was gonna say if you roll Delia another d20.
Well,
and
alright,
take the-
Kiki's gonna be like, fine.
Oh.
Fun to vote.
But just know I'm not happy about this.
Delia's gonna like clap and cute girl squeal and be like,
However-
I'm so excited to see you perform.
I wish to speak with to Sar one more time before I am settled on this arrangement. I'm going to make a deal with him.
Okay. By the way, Wyndon totally followed you guys because his job is to pick with Delia.
Oh,
Do not bring that
Also,
bastard
so
near
that's
me.
why
I
we
have
have-
his
who
hat.
has it?
No offense, Saberna, but I'd like to make my own deals.
Of course. I wouldn't have it any other way.
She
Okay.
has this devilish smirk on her face suddenly, and then it disappears.
Oh.
Very good.
no.
Well, Wyndon will chime in. It's like, if you're planning on performing, would you like to, sign the registry since you're here at the college practically anyway?
Oh no, I don't sign any papers, not until I make my deal.
Okay. Poor
Poor
Wyndon.
Wyndon.
Like- Every time I try and help, nobody likes my help.
If you wish to help me, Wyndon, can you track down your manager?
The curator will be at the palace, so we'd have to go
Daniel
back up
Attich,
there.
can you bring me an ale, please?
He's not
I
a
would
butler.
appreciate that.
Percival
No.
just like in the back takes another bottle of wine just out of his bag.
Hands it
Ah,
to Wyndon.
mine does better. Never mind, Vinton. That's the second time I've been like, never mind, Winton, you don't have to do my task. Go to
First
my
off-
dry cleaning. Oh, bring me something to drink.
First off, guys.
Kiki's gonna turn to Percy.
I'll participate if Percy participates. It's also another clause.
Oh.
Well, I guess Kiki's not participating.
Oh no.
Nope.
Percy, don't you want to
Kiki-
hear her sing?
Kiki's gonna hold out her hand to Percival.
Come on. I don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. Let's not do this, but do it together.
Can I roll a persuasion assist on that? Damn.
Oh, that's a terrible.
What the fuck?
Okay,
How can
quick
you say
question.
no to
Why do you
that
have a plus
face?
10 to persuasion?
Huh? Because it's it is
rogue.
one of the holy crap. What is it called? It's
Expertise.
I'm proficient with it. One,
It's
and
rogues.
it's one of my holy shit skills that I got to
Expertise,
check because I'm
yeah.
a rogue.
Mhm.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
So,
Jeez.
I'll buy you some pie.
He chuckles.
Yeah,
No.
And how about I make a ballad in your name?
I
Now,
didn't even
Wyndon
know.
perks
already
up
won.
with this. Also, suddenly I'm reminded of Percy, the dry cleaner. And, sorry, dumb aside, but Percy is called Percy because he purses his lips all the time.
Oh my god.
Sorry, my
I was
bad.
imagining duck face. Damn it.
DM, Kane specifically hunts down this Percy, the laundromat owner. No.
Percy Duckface, more than that.
So-
Not right now.
Anyways,
Not right now.
Percy, come on. I'll arrange us a fine deal.
Can I roll a charisma save?
you can try.
I'll say,
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, you
Could
got
I
Delia
add
and.
in-
Go ahead.
Quick question. What does
Can-
Saberna add to Kiki's persuasion?
Well, Kiki just
No.
rolls a advantage, so if they wanted to, they would just
Yeah.
roll again. Well, they already did that.
No, I didn't. I only rolled once.
So you roll
Oh,
then
the
for
charisma was
like-
before. Never mind.
Tell me my crits for nothing.
Your crits for nothing.
You've
Yeah.
got like
Crits for
Delia
nothing.
and Sib and Kiki standing there with JoJo faces staring at Percy like you're gonna do the thing.
Anyways.
If it's
This
advantage,
just
they would just roll
advantage.
twice.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
it's advantage, if you give advantage, then
Alright.
Kiki would just roll twice. And
God
Oh my
damn
god.
wow.
What is this?
Please.
Can I add in some religious guilt?
Oh
in the
no.
form of you're a paladin, you have a calling to serve your deity, and they have asked you as a servant and as an advocate for your deity to stand in her stead.
And
How
Percival just
dare
kind of
you?
cuts Delia
What
off
kind
and
of-
just
What
says,
kind of paladin are you?
Percival just cuts in and says, I said I'd give my blessing. I didn't say I'd send the parade. That's my problem. And so,
Percy, how about you and I make a deal?
And she's gonna grin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gross.
There's my charisma save. I'm
We're
doing
having a
it.
charisma fight between paladins and bards. And
Did
you're
I
like, a spy rogue. Like, this is like Super Saiyan Goku versus like everybody else Super Saiyan like God.
Did I
Is
win
the-
the charisma save?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Kiki is going to physically push everyone away that's in her way and just walk straight up to like Percy, like chest to chest, like in his face, eyes big. Let's make a deal.
Ooh.
So
This is very intimidating, like almost like an intimidating excitement.
Intimidating.
action.
Oh wait, you're like a foot taller than me, so maybe this
Yes.
isn't intimidating.
Like your chest is
What's
on his
intimidating?
stomach, your face is on his
Like-
chest.
Okay, she's on her tippy toes.
You're just staring the
Standing
crest
on
of
top of
Mistra
Val.
dead on. And Percival's just looking down like, this isn't as horrifying as you think.
You're just making eye contact with like inside of Percy's nostrils. That's what you're making eye contact
Oh,
with.
God.
Sabrina, hot air balloon.
And I poke her on the back of the head. She starts to float at her will. She can move around as much as she wants to. She just has to have an anchor something. So if she grips onto something, she can move around freely. It's basically I'm casting
are you
levitating.
okay?
her.
I'm gonna grab onto Percy's shoulders and just like stare deep into his soul. Just like, let's make a deal. How about it? Is there anything you want that I can get for you? Anything to convince you to partake in this parade? I can do anything.
Oh, okay. I have several problems with this.
Sweet Miss.
Did you want that jacket? I can get you that jacket. Come on, I know you want a deal.
Kiki, I don't want that jacket.
Well then what do
And
you
so Percival just puts like a hand on Kiki's shoulder and says, I'm sorry, but this place is a whole lot of nope right now.
She looks very like she looks a little futtered for a moment, but then she goes back to it. Surely there's something I can do. Anything in this whole entire world, or any of the worlds that you might want. Something that might make it easier for you to participate.
Blindfolded and some earplugs, probably.
I can arrange that.
Percival turns to Sabrina and just goes, please no.
Is that what you want, Percival?
No, absolutely not.
Well, fine. I was gonna do it the easy way and let you choose, but I'm just gonna mention your name anyways. I'm gonna go to the castle.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, no, you're going. I was just gonna give you the choice. But now you don't get one. Unless you want to make a deal. Then it's your choice.
I'm just gonna roll another charisma save.
DM, I am not actually getting that drunk.
I hate my life.
I'm gonna
Oh.
roll that. Roll, what did you say? That Percy's just not having it.
Yeah, I know.
Even with the 30 that Cyberna had before,
That's not, but that was like,
No, I
that's
wasted
not
a
an
roll.
assisted, that's not him rolling for himself, because he just assisted Kiki. So her other roll was just an 11.
Yeah.
She rolled two 11s.
I
Yeah.
would like to thank Roll20 for helping me give a lot of no's right
Fuck
now.
up. Anyways, Kiki's gonna
Percival's
jump.
just like,
Kiki's gonna like go back to the ground and she's gonna huff and be like, fine, I guess I'll have to do this without you. And she's gonna start strutting off towards the castle. I'm gonna go make my deal. I need to arrange a contract with him.
Okay.
so
I'm gonna walk off with her. I'm just gonna, Delia's gonna shake her head and say,
Okay.
Mister would be disappointed, and walk
So-
off.
Way to go, jerk.
Oh.
I walk away. What is it, April Fools, jerk?
So
hearing
I'm gonna.
Kiki's going back, Percival kind of just chases after and goes, I don't trust this place, so I'm not letting you go back alone. I hate you for this, but I'm coming.
She's gonna just link her arm with Percy. Don't worry, I don't like this place either anymore. So let's not like it together.
Yeah, and then Percival's just like, nope. None of this is good.
So I'm gonna seek out Tassar. I'm going straight to the castle, no stops.
Alrighty.
Oh my god, it's been 3.5 hours.
I call across the courtyard.
Yeah.
And
Somewhere
in the distance
came-
around you, 12 bars go.
That was fun.
Kane like looks off in the distance. He's like, "Who the hell keeps making that noise?"
Actually, this reminds me of a story.
What the hell?
We were I was in Munich for the first game of the World Cup in 2006, and so with a group of friends, and we're just like hanging out, like having a snack or something in like in a courtyard kind of area in the city, and this guy was with these two teenage girls that went running off. And he's just kind of laughing. He's got like all this camera equipment on him, and he's like yelling their name, like, "Hey, Sarah and Abby, Sarah and Abby!" And he started getting like a more panic because like they just were not listening to him, and it's a huge freaking crowd of people, right? And so he starts like panic screaming, like, "Sarah and Abby!" So there's like 10 of us, and we just get up and start following him, going, "Sarah and Abby!" It's like getting everybody to yell Sarah and Abby at them.
Goodness.
Yes, it was fun.
Knock knock, bitch, I'm home. Just kidding, my home isn't this shitty.
Oh, damn.
Okay, so
Sam's
Percival
Kiki
just
there.
inadvertently gives Kiki a high five for that.
Yeah. So
She
Percival,
doesn't instead of high five gets hit in the forehead.
Percival, Sib, Kiki, and Delia, the whole quartet of you have gone back to the palace.
Yes, I'm seeking out Tassar to make arrangements, make a contract with him to
Percival doesn't trust Tassar, so he's going to make sure nothing goes south.
I'm basically
Okay.
giving him my terms to serve in the parade.
Terms, okay. And Val, Kane, and Zan are still hanging out in the main square area.
I'm just sitting and
Or
reading.
no, are Val and Kane? Val and Zan still in the library?
We probably would have.
I mean,
head out
I
by
just
that
would have been
point.
making maps.
So okay, I'll just say you
Yeah.
guys are still in the main square area. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is 12:01 on my time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunately my cutoff. So we got to wrap up.
Start dinner soon.
Okay.
That's a good.
So we've left off with you guys going to the palace to negotiate terms for participation in the parade procession.
Mhm.
And you guys hanging out, and we will pick up with that not next week, but the week after. So unfortunately, we're going to take a break for the holidays. Next game is November 27th.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to put that on social medias and stuff.
Yeah.
Also,
Wait, what
just real
holidays
quick, I'm
next
gonna
week?
check something.
Thanksgiving.
American Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Okay, it didn't work yet.
All right, great.
Um,
Like, follow, subscribe, follow all the things.
Yeah, do the things.
Stuff.
Hang on,
Click-
I'll check something
click
else.
every link.
Fan art.
Nah, it hasn't gone through yet.
Fair.
I tried setting up a bot, but it didn't go through.
Oh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on the
Yeah.
which day? The
7th.
And
November
hopefully we'll have the
27th.
video up
Yeah,
right after this.
exactly.
27th. Hopefully the VODs come out. Thanks again for sticking around and all that stuff. We love you guys. Peace.